Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Law's making his move now. And here he comes right up alongside of Authentic. A long shot, Mr. Pink News, has made a big run up into third. And they're into the stretch. And it's Tis the Law on the outside of Authentic. These two stride for stride as they come to the final furlong. Authentic is dragging in. Tis the Law all out to get by him. Authentic and John Velasquez have the lead as they come down to the 16th ball. Tis the Law still trying to get him. Authentic, Tis the Law, here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
The mile went in 1:36.4, and they're in the stretch, and it is Swiss Skydiver, and she's opened up on the field here. Swiss Skydiver in front by a half dozen lengths. Then Harvey's Little Girl, Bonnie South, and En Voutante. And Swiss Skydiver is sailing home here in the 140th running of the Alabama.
Thousand Words keeps on fighting on the inside of Cezanne. Not today for Honore P. On the far outside, it's Kiss Today Goodbye. They're coming down to the line, and Thousand Words has done it.
What is up? Welcome to Racing Dudes Live on a major day of racing. Preakness Stakes on the same day as how many? 5, 6 total, counting Preakness as Breeders' Cup races. So we've got a full agenda of racing to talk about. Obviously, racing's been going on all since 10 o'clock this morning, our time. But welcome, everyone. Halterman, you got Samit, you got Ryan, you got Vinny from Real Dynasty. What's up, boys?
I'm frustrated, guys. You've got a frustrated me right now. I just keep losing photos left and right, and my favorite horse, Rock Emperor, who's going to lose another photo, is loading in the gate. So you're going to get me mad and angry right off the bat.
Lose another photo.
Yeah, we're starting off hot here. I mean, we got Belmont loading in. Pimlico's almost.
Yeah, they're going to run on top of each other. This is going to be a mess.
We could talk about Belmont, but then I realized Sadler's Joy's in that race. So who's everyone like at Pimlico?
Well, I've got chocolate bar, I think, on that one, but
I think I ended up on the 10 because of the 11 scratch, that Don Juan kitten.
Yeah. So that's bad news for us, Vinny.
Yeah, that's bad.
I think
I'll play at the show.
All right, they're loaded at Belmont. They're loading at Pimlico. Looks like Belmont's going to go off first. Let's see. You got a lot of shitty horses in here. Let's be honest. Sadler's Joy, Channel Maker, Rock Emperor, Cross Border, Highland Sky. A lot of bullshit New York, turf horses in here. So
a lot of closers. Watch Channel Maker go gate the wire again.
Anyone want to go $20? I'll take Keeneland ends before the Belmont race.
Pimlico, yeah.
You're going to what? It's Sadler's Joy. They're going at least a mile and a half, right?
Yep.
Mile. It's the Joe Hirsch.
Yep. They're off at Belmont and they're still loading at Pimlico. So
while it's not an official Breeders' Cup race, you got to think. I mean, this is obviously a race for that. Rock Emperor will probably win the Breeders' Cup just for Halterman.
Well, Rock Emperor is sitting a perfect trip in third, so we're already.
Let's see the opening. Let's see the opening fraction and see if he can make a move on it.
Well, the opening fraction is 22-8 if you believe the Belmont clock.
No way. Channel Maker never run a 22.
3 seconds off, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. He's sitting in the perfect place to lose a photo, Aaron. I got to admit, right now.
The writing's on the wall for this one, buddy.
And Pimlico's off now, too.
Oh, man. Okay, Pimlico's off too. I'm going to flip over to that.
This could be close.
Yeah.
49-4.
Yeah,
that's still fast.
Yeah. So if you believe the clock, they ran a 27-second second quarter there.
Yeah,
I don't think that happened.
Channel Maker's more of a 52 horse anyway. Like it's.
I'm not spitting the drink out there. Oh gosh, come on, Rocketbird, you got this.
How confident are you right now, Halterman?
Well, not very. Let's see here. I hate these. I hate when we're live on these turf races because it's so boring until the finals. Like 200 yards.
This
114.
Where are they at on the Pimlico one?
looks like they're going around the
47,
turn.
47.9 first half. Don Juan Kitten's getting a rather light lead, but that's the fastest first half mile we've seen on this turf course today.
Come on, Rock
He's
Emperor's
racing
loaded,
at
baby.
the exact same time.
Dude, Rock Emperor's loaded.
Yep.
Come on.
Oh,
They look
but
like
can the hanger get there?
I
they
doubt
look
it.
like they're
Channel Makers had a
small.
pretty easy trip, so
Yeah, this 10 gets nipped at the wire.
they look like they are crawling up there. Like
Oh,
they look
they're
going
not
so
dead.
slow.
Channel Maker's gonna win.
Gate the wire. Nobody pressed him at all.
No, big surprise. Sadler's Joy. Well, nope, he's gonna get.
The hell's
I think
Bye-bye
that-
Melvin.
Did that 10 just win the photo at Pimlico, or did he get nipped?
He got nipped. Bye Melvin.
No, he didn't.
He
Yeah.
looked like he got nipped.
Bye-bye
Son of
Melvin
a
got him there.
bitch. Really?
Yeah, he looked like he got nipped.
Who nipped him? Bye
The-
Melvin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think he got beat.
It
Right?
looked like it, but then the camera panned to the 10 after the
Oh.
wire.
Oh, the 10 rebobbed him.
He
Really?
did. Good one.
The 10 rebobbed him.
Oh, the 10 got
Ew.
it.
Oh,
Ew.
Told
Oh,
you I'm
there we
hitting
go.
photos all
There we
day,
go.
baby.
Dirty,
Oh, man.
dirty Bob if you're bye Melvin there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, that
That
was.
Bob was 100% because of me, because I've missed like a dozen like that all around the country. Thistle, Indiana, everywhere. I've been missing those freaking photos.
Oh,
What's
man.
hilarious is
You won the first race of the day, didn't you?
Oh,
The Indiana Grand. What was it?
yeah,
yeah, dude. Indiana Grand ran
We
at
get-
9
we get a-
o'clock.
we get a text at 10 a.m. Aaron goes, I hit the first race of the day, Indiana Grand quarter horses.
Yeah, one of the better Indiana Grand
Oh,
quarter
man.
or Indiana quarter horses in that state. Won a bobble at the break. I wouldn't say a stumble, but a bobble at the break, and then still came back to win. Really nice horse.
Rock Emperor didn't even finish in the money.
No, he
Oh,
put his
boy.
dick in the dirt bad. So,
Ultraman, you didn't even use bye Melvin. Come on.
well, I mean, did Bye Melvin win?
No, you got second. I mean, you didn't use it in the top 4. I mean, that's what I'm getting.
Didn't win.
showing
So
Bye-bye
whatever.
Melvin now.
I told you he wouldn't win.
Vinny had the exacta there.
Nice.
My dad said it right after. It's the Saranac exacta. Soft turf, same 2 horses.
Yeah. Wait a
Good
second.
finish.
They're showing 13.
They're showing 13.
Are they really?
Yeah, on the track feed they are.
Oh my God! It's a,
I thought I was pretty sure that horse got down.
Yeah, it looked like the 10 rebob, but
yeah, that's the 10. That's definitely the 10. I don't know. I think
I
they
thought
did.
the 10 got it. I thought the 13 got it in real time, and the 10 got it in the 10's
yeah,
up. 10, 13, 4, 7.
yep, that's
10,
okay.
13, 4, 7. Yep. There you go. Don Juan Kitten, bye Melvin, reconvened, Vanzy, Jolton Jew.
I love that freaking 4. You had to check around the turn, too. I don't think it would have mattered, but
I'm not
Good pick on the Don. You had it the whole way, man. So
Well, I'm not seeing it on mine.
It's all right. It's
Okay,
not
there we
a
go.
roll.
All right.
we're not
Yeah, you
messing
got
with
it.
you.
I wasn't gonna believe
Yeah.
you guys for a second.
No,
Yeah, I had the 10. I had the 10 as my best pick in a free contest today, so
Bam.
that helped me.
Wow. There you go.
Needed some value.
Listen, I love it, man. Let's get the 10 home there, and now let's not miss another race. Forget that Belmont race. That doesn't count. We're not
talk a little bit before we get into some of this actually good racing. You know, maybe you talked about it a little bit, and I think people listening will be interested to know, like, you know, so how much you actually nailed the pick 5 earlier. But I know Halterman, you've kind of been on the other end of a lot of those. So explain to people like how tough this card really has been, and kind of the difficulty of handicapping a card like this, which we all knew was going to be difficult. You know, whenever you can be right all day and yet be wrong at the same time.
I think with this card, I'll go first, I guess. I think with this card, you just didn't have – it was a lot of stakes races with a lot of horses that weren't great, except maybe for Factor This, he's really good, right? But the rest of these horses, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I got to go short here. And it's like, yeah, that's not really a horse I would single in a stakes, but kind of here and you kind of got to go deep in these other ones. So it's almost the handicapping isn't quite off. It's more of just I went short in a race where I should have went deep. That's been my problem at least. Like a mundane call. That's not really a single type, but facing those horses today, I kind of thought she was, and so that was a thing that really hurt me. I got Juliet Foxtrot right, but she's also in that category of, well, she hasn't won all year, but she just looked classier than everybody, and she got the job done. But some of those horses haven't gone that way for me. So that's kind of been the challenge. And then I think the races where we have to go deep, it's almost been like you almost have to go all to get to some of them, where you could make a case for 5 or 6. So you narrow it down to 3 or 4. And then that 5th choice beats you if you do 4, and the 4th choice beats you if you do 3. That's been me all day.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo Aaron's sentiment there. I think that especially after seeing the Travers card and the Derby card, and seeing some of these monster superstar horses running those races in the undercards, and even a horse like Imprimis that went off at 5-2. I mean, you have different horses that went off on different undercards that were obvious stars. And if they showed up, they were going to win and get it home. In these races, a lot of the grade 3s feel almost like, overnight stakes races. The grade 2s like grade 3s, and there's a little more variance at that level. So you don't have those heavy favorites that are going to bring their A game every time. And because of that, you have horses like Monday's Call, who just was off today, and they tried to rate her for some reason. No idea what we were doing there, but that's fine. But what you have when you have those situations is you have more long shots that can win. You have horses that are able to get home at prices, and you have to pick the right race to be short, the right, marginal superstar, the right, very good horse that's going to run the race on that day. And on top of that, we're at Pimlico, right, which is a track that is not full of really good horses every single day. It's not a track that a lot of us cover day in and day out. You have different jockeys riding these horses because of COVID restrictions, and you have a turf course that is really slow. And so like they looked like they were exhausted at the end of that last race. So you have a bunch of different variables that are all playing into it that make it tough to be right every time. I was fortunate enough to be right in the first 5 and pay for the day, but since then I've lost a photo and then been dead wrong a couple times. So
yeah, I think it, like you kind of mentioned, like it's just the better these horses are, it's a little bit easier, I feel like, to trust them, which obviously makes a lot of sense, but trust how they're going to perform. And it just seems like the way I've been all day, it's like I've had horses where I've been way off, and it's just kind of been all over the place. Where my top 4, I might have 1 or 2 that do well, and the other 2 are completely no-shows. So we are 3 minutes to post from the first Breeders' Cup Challenge race of the day, boys. It's at Keeneland, race 7. We are 2 minutes to post with Sneaking Out as co-favorite with Ladies Island. This is a Breeders' Cup winning race for the Filly Mare Sprint. And, we did this on the podcast. Halterman, this is not an easy race. I think you and I both you picked Ladies Island. I think I was Sneaking Out, but it's a tough race.
Yeah, this could be at Pimlico today. This is kind of what the Pimlico races look like, where it's like, oh, I can't find a really short, go 1 or 2 here. And then you look at it and it's like, gosh, if I go 4 deep, I probably need to go 7 deep, So this is definitely kind of one of the races that, Mike and I were talking about just a minute ago, where it's just like, it's a tweener, it's like these horses aren't bad for sure, but they aren't, bam, I can really, go heavy on one here and feel confident. So, I liked Lady Island. I'm hoping that horse can get out to the front. I cut back in distance to 6 furlongs and just hopefully doesn't get a lot of pressure up front, can take them wire to wire. But yeah, I mean, your pick Sneaking Out, definitely, a class horse from California as well. So, I mean, this is a wide open race. Hopefully Lady Island gets the trip.
You guys didn't cover this one, did you, Samaj?
No, we didn't, but I looked at it. I'm in a tournament with this race, and I looked at this race, and the first thing I noticed is every single good horse's pace, right? I mean, Dos Vinos wants to go, Palace Avenger wants to go, Ladies Island wants to go. Sneaking Out has at least been able to rate the 6th horse in the midst of Bist, something like that. 6th horse wants to go as well, so you have 4 horses that all want the lead. I think this sets up really well for Sneaking Out. I actually played a pick 5 in front of this the Magic Mike Show ticket, where I just singled Sneaking Out because I thought this was a spot you had to take a shot or take a stand because I don't want to play Ladies Island at 5-2 and Sneaking Out at 9-5. I want to either take a swing and hit it out of the park or just go down in flames right here.
Yeah, I mean that's your strategy. Yeah, that's definitely. And this is definitely for you. Your strategy sometimes is when you see a lot of races like this, you'll pick one out like this and go, okay, we're either going to get home or we're not here.
Yep.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely your logic was kind of where I was at with sneaking out as well. Like just because it has pace, or he has or she's shown pace in the past, but drawing the rail and has shown that she can sit off of a little bit with all the other pace on the outside. Maybe she gets a good trip up the rail, and obviously has been running really well as of late. So you guys have any final thoughts of this race? Vinny, did you look at this race at all?
Yeah, the sneaking out I think is the horse to beat, but I like Palace Avenger as well. She's just always really game, and with everybody else speed as well, I think she's going to put away the other speed. So I played a little win bet on Palace Avenger, but it won't shock me if sneaking out beats her late.
They are
getting close to the gate. Keeneland's dragging it out, I feel like, a little bit here. I thought they were
Sorry
at the
about
gate.
the static on the mic. I'm pretty sure that was me for the last
Yep.
10 minutes. So I apologize. I know I came on late and then started with the static, so that's 2 sorries for me.
Got one
Well, I
straight up.
tested it out. I muted you for a second. I'm like, yeah, that's Ricky.
Are we good now? Are we good now?
Yeah, no, you're good. It sounds good.
Who are you picking?
Yeah,
I
what's your
have,
pick?
I have Palace Avenger. I couldn't really. I try to take as much of this field as possible. Aaron, like you kind of talked about, you're going to take a stand with 1 or 2, or you're going to try to kind of make the case for a bunch. So I try to just make the case for a bunch. I kind of think Palace Avenger is just trending upward, not really having faced all the great stakes competition, but is really running well and has looked great all summer. So I think at 4-1, that's not a bad price. But again, I have all the top horses in here because I couldn't really separate between the top contenders.
All right, looks like they're about done loading for. Yep, I think they're in. They're off.
There we go. They're off.
Oh, I'm late.
Get on. If Twin Spires is a little ahead of you, dude.
Yeah.
I'll watch on TVG. On the TVG login
I'm
feed.
using Naira.
We're getting the trip that we needed here on this one. Not to ruin it for you, but
Yeah.
Yep, I got it now.
getting
Quick
exactly
first
what he
quarter.
thought. Just
That's
speed
fat.
going.
Come on, 7. Don't let him catch you.
Just-
7's done.
Yeah.
Don't let him
Oh.
okay, they caught you.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Alright.
one's gonna have to basically go outside of these. all
Five's
these-
gonna take the rail.
Yep.
Mhm.
She's good enough.
Yeah, that's
I don't think she's good. Doesn't look like she's gonna be good enough. Looks like the 6 is gonna be. Yeah.
Oh, going down 1.
13-1.
Yeah, that one's gonna get up for second, I think, but that 6.
Outside stalking trip.
Jeez. Third, what is that? Third highest price on the board there, 13-1.
Yep.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go. There's a Breeders' Cup horse there.
That's in the midst of biz.
The old Indiana Grand to Presque Isle Downs to a winning you're in Breeders' Cup race route that they always take.
Logical routes. Yeah. Yeah. Very logical route.
Always a salty angle there. It wasn't even the favorite last out, by the way, at Presque Isle. So there you go. That's always really solid there.
I think it's amazing with the history of this horse. It went up at 13-1. That's like enough people were like, I see it. I see the angle. I definitely can see it happening. And now they're sitting there going, see, I told you.
Yeah.
Just read the form. Read the form.
Right. Yeah. Don't get on Twitter. That'll be what they're saying right now.
Ryan, it's always good to have your analysis on here.
Did you see it, Ryan? We didn't ask you. Did you pick that horse?
No. You had to be on Pornhub and spanking it and just picked a random number the night before to come on this horse. Come on. This is crazy.
Wow.
I
All
should have
right.
gotten it then. That's the thing. So I don't know. That's how I handicap usually. So,
Or aim.
oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so next race looks like will be the at Belmont, right?
Yeah.
Santa Anita, is anyone out west or no?
Actually not a bad race.
Am I the only one? Yeah, that's the only reason I asked, because there's the swing time stakes just thrown in there in the third race. I was curious to know if anyone was a part of that.
Who do you like, Ricky?
I went with Cordiality. I think this 7-year-old. I just think she's kind of the class of this field. I think this is only like Tim Yakteen's maybe second or third horse of the meet. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not looking at the form right now. I just couldn't really see past her. Second of the meet? Yeah, I knew. Yeah, and it's weird because whenever he gets a horse, that's an instant must use. It could be the word, for me at least. I really couldn't see past her. But again, I'm not looking at the form right now. I'm just going off of what I had to start the morning.
I would take a little swing at the 5 Colonial Creed. Jimmy Creed, Turf Sire, obviously one of those that I love. Baltus owns this horse, and it seems like a really aggressive spot for Baltus to own and train and put this horse in. Morning line was 2-1. You're getting 9-2 right now with Flavian Pratt aboard. It's first off the layoff, but it's late in the 4-year-old season too, so you have a logical improvement angle that you could find with the 5. But the horse was able to be on the lead. The horse has been able to close, so I don't have to worry about the trip at all. And like I said, the price. If I get 9-2, I think it's worth playing there. And I agree with Ricky too. I think the 4 Cordiality is a logical horse too, who's going to be out on the lead and trying to push the pace. But 8-5 is a little too short for me on that one.
Yeah. I guess to your point, and I kind of. I looked at this before the morning lines came out, and I saw 2-1. I was like, I'm running towards Cordiality. And then I saw it again, and then I saw 5-2, and I would have been more than happy to take 5-2. It would have been hard pressed to find Cordiality not being the favorite in the spot, just consistently running against California's restricted races, and she is the quickest in this spot as well. So. Good compact field, though, for sure.
Are we going to do we can't do apparently one at Pimlico, but we can do a pick 4, I guess, at Keeneland if we want to do the draft. We're pretty hot on this show with doing these drafts, but yep. I've never done one when we've had this many on there. So how do you guys handle this?
Yeah. Samich, what do you think? You're the multi-race expert. I think we can't do 6 a race, obviously.
Yeah. No, I think you have to pass 2 races.
Okay.
Each person has 2 passes and 2 plays.
Okay.
So when it comes to you, you can either say pass or play, and you got to play 2 races. Okay. So if the first person says newspaper record, the other 5 people can all say pass, and we're singled. But then you have the option of either pass or play once each draft pick is taken.
I love it. I like it. A little different twist there. I like that a lot.
Yeah. This is going to be This could be much better than the riveting Santa Anita coverage we just had. So I about fell asleep. So
some people are paying
shot airs that field. Then somebody will be happy.
Some people are paying attention.
It's like Jesus.
Yeah, I almost exited out of this thing, and I realized I was running the thing, so I didn't do that. So yeah, let's. We had 23 minutes for that first race. That pick 4, that last 4 races at Keeneland. So that, of course, includes kicking off here the big one here with the fillies, the couple fillies out of the Chad Brown barn, of course, Bo Recall from Brad Cox, and then the Futurity, the Shadwell. And that's a good sequence there. Yeah. So I think it's a good sequence too to do what Samich is proposing here. I think that will be fun.
Let's do it.
What do you want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, that way it's done. Everybody's got the ticket, and then we can focus on the races the rest of the way. Because I don't know if we'll have a better time than now.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna think about this for a second. So you can only do 2. We can only pick 2, right?
I think I should pick none. And so you guys pick, it'll work.
You get 4 passes.
Okay, good.
But you can play 1 if you're worried. But
there we go. Yeah, you can sprinkle 1 in there when you want to.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? He gets 3 passes and 1 play. He has to play 1.
I like that.
Okay. Because I want him to
go first in any race.
All right, I'm going to pick newspaper of record.
You don't get to go first in any race.
You don't get to go. He said no.
I got to shoot you down right there. All right. So let's start with the first race here, race 8. I guess, Jared, do you want to kick us off? And you can pass and force the onus on other people too, right out of the gate if you want.
Yeah, I mean, God, do I really want to waste one on Uni here? I think we got a player though, so I'll be the one. I know that I was on her on the pod, so I'll stick with Uni here. That's one of my plays.
All right, Jared goes with a 5. Aaron, would you like to add or pass?
Gosh, I can only play, but if I play here, I can only play one more.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this is hard. Now I'm gonna add Bow Recall here.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna pass.
Whoa,
Ricky,
I'll pass also.
I'm gonna get the horse.
It's
Okay,
an opportunity.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play. I'm playing. Newspaper of record. Let's go.
All right. And Vinny.
are you passing?
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass.
Excellent. All right.
Hey, Ryan, that worked out perfect for you.
Let's go.
All right.
Like, I can't believe that.
Start out with 145. Keeneland's 9th race, Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Futurity.
I really
Aaron, I guess you'd have first pick now.
Oh boy, I'll pass.
I will use the 6, Dixie's 2 Stents.
I'm gonna use my turn, right? I'll go with 2 Up Striker.
Ryan,
Pass.
I'm going to use the 8 Founder.
Ooh, we leave Asmussen off.
Oh, I have a pick.
does Jared not get to do it?
Jared
Jared,
has a
yeah,
pick.
that's
Jared
right.
has a pick.
Well, son of a bitch, though, because now we're leaving off Calibrate, which I like, but my top pick is King Fury at a price. Who did you play? Who are the plays so far?
2, 6, 8.
2, that's got a price. 6, okay. 8, okay. Add the 7. I'll play the 7. That gets some coverage there.
Now you're out of
done.
time,
So
right?
you guys, I know Halter will take care of who I like in the next race. And then after that, that's on you guys.
All right, the 10th race at Keeneland, the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile.
Yeah.
Oh man, do I want to pick here? I mean, this is my single in my pick 4 and my pick 5 here, so I'm going to pick. I'm going to use the 6 Raging Bull.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ricky.
Who has picks left? Jared and I are out.
I have
Jared
one.
have one.
I have 1.
Okay, so we might need to have like a bonus pick for the Preakness, so we're not single.
The last race, we're going to have nothing.
For the sake,
Ryan plays single in the last race.
Halty, did you make a pick for this one yet?
No.
All right, so I'll pass because I don't think we could single in the last. I don't feel that strongly about it, so I'll pass.
Okay. Ryan.
If I did have a second pick, does anyone here like Analyze It or Parlor?
I really like Parlor. That's who I was gonna play.
Well, I'm picking Analyze It. So
Oh shit.
All right, so let's.
I was gonna go with Analyze It. That was my thing. It was between those two horses. So let me do Analyze It.
We'll allow it.
okay.
All right.
And then Vinny, you want Parlor?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Parlor.
Okay.
Then you can
am
pass,
I the only
right?
one left?
Yeah, I can pass, so I'll have one left.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So it's Ricky and I are the only ones
Okay.
that have one left for the last leg.
If you
Yep.
if you take Sha Shake Me Up, we're done. We're not playing if either one of us takes that horse.
I'm not taking that horse, but you go first. Who you taking?
So I'm gonna take Edgemont Road.
Good pick.
It's like the 4 is going to win that race at Santa Anita.
Good job, Ricky. Way to analyze and break that down. Who'd you take? Edgemont Road, the 6?
Yeah, I mean, 8-length winner last time out. It seems to be getting better.
It's going to be really
I
depressing when we're
definitely
down to
didn't
this
want to
last
single
race.
Yeah.
I like the 8. Savvy.
That's it?
No.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
6 and the
So
8.
that's
The $36 ticket for 50 cents.
So what is it? Is it 145, with 2, 6, 7, 8 with 6, 8, 9 with 6, 8?
Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's a great ticket until the last leg.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
yeah,
as a group, if we had
that's
one
what I was
horse in the
afraid.
last leg,
That's what I
who'd we
was
add?
afraid of.
What'd you say, Mike?
As a group, if we had one horse in the last leg, who would we add?
Okay.
Hey,
Do
how
we have
about
one
this?
consensus
Guys,
where we all
I
come
got an
together?
idea. I got an idea. Michael Myers keeps getting on here to say, "Let me throw one in. I'll pick in the last." Let's let a fan pick in the last leg. So there, Michael, it's on you, my friend.
Who's our third horse?
Yep.
Pick Shasha, shake me up.
Oh, I hope.
Oh God,
This
no,
is a
no
true
way.
collaboration right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him pick. I agree.
All right, so we'll wait for
Now-
Michael Myers, and then we'll pop in the
Who are we,
final.
well, how about
here.
this? How about this? Who are we hoping for? How about we still give who we like, and if that's who Michael comes up with, then great. But we should still, if there's someone we didn't talk about yet, we can convince. We can try to persuade.
Well, Aaron, what did you think of Tank Commander? Since it's a Donnie Von Hemo horse.
Oh, nah.
No,
No. I mean,
I
I
was
think he
thinking
can
him in
get
the
the
two.
board maybe, but I don't. I don't think that's the type of race he's gonna win. I like the 2 a little bit. Bet Mitch get rich. He likes the 11.
All right, I use the 11 too. That
Yeah,
works
I can
for
see
me.
the 11.
All
That'll
right.
work.
All right, so 1, 4, 5 with 2, 6, 7, 8 with 6, 8, 9 with 6, 8, 11.
Okay. What is that? $54?
54.
$4.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, there it is.
We're at the 3 minutes to the Kelso at
Okay.
Belmont.
Oh, God.
No
All
Belmont.
right.
All right,
6,
New Yorkers, you guys
11.
analyze this.
Am
there
I
you
on
go.
my own?
No, you, Ricky and Vinny, you guys analyze the Kelso. You guys are New Yorkers.
Vinny, you want to go first? I mean, it's pretty quick to go
Yeah.
through, but you can take the first shot.
Yeah, I'll. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be enough pace for Code of Honor. I think Complexity probably could just take this field, gate the wire here.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It feels like the kind of field Tacitus would finish second in this field right here somehow.
God,
Well, the point, just to your pace point, which I agree with. This is one of my biggest angles when we talk about closers that come from off the pace. How does that transfer, or how does that translate when the fields are so short, right? Because when you think of 8 to 10, you expect the pace to maybe be slow, but they're all going to be bunched up. I don't know. It's not like Code of Honor is going to be far back. So even though it might be slow, unless you love complexity, I think you kind of need to use them both, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think Code of Honor is the class. I really hope he win. I do hope he wins. And at second choice right now, I think it's crazy that he's second choice to Complexity. To be honest with you, I don't think Complexity is that good. And so we'll see. We'll see. This is a. I can't believe there's only 4 horses here.
So I'm alive to everything on the back end. I also threw an endorsed. Knowing my luck, I'll get beat by Stan the Man, and it'll ruin the pick 6, the pick 5, and the pick 4. But there was just something I've always liked endorsed. I think Junior Alvarado is really showing that he's a much better rider than people give him credit for. Everyone seems to be away. I think Joel's at Keeneland right now, and Irad's not even riding due to his personal health issues. So I think Junior Alvarado is really showing what type of rider he is when he gets the quality. Maybe I'm on that boat by myself, but I did like endorsed a little bit at a price, and I couldn't really choose between Complexity and Code of Honor, so I figured I'd throw in a little price as well.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine this is a prep for Code of Honor for the Breeders' Cup. The other two, I don't think Endorse will go to the Breeders' Cup, even if he wins here. Complexity might. Not really. I don't think he will either. So it won't shock me if Code of Honor just runs second here as a prep for the Breeders' Cup. But He did the same. Shug did the same thing with Honor Code, and I think Honor Code aired that field that day in the Kelso before the Breeders' Cup, if I remember correctly. Somebody might need to fact check me on that.
And that's a good point that I honestly didn't even think about. And if anyone wants to back that point, it's like, what's our bigger goal here? What's our bigger mission? Obviously, the Kelso is not it. So, that's not the end goal. So you're right. That even kind of maybe points to the 4 to 5 on complexity, probably just driving your point home.
They are getting ready. They're loading, or they're in the gate, I guess, almost. And the Pimlico race is going to go off in 2 minutes as well. So we're going to fire right back to that after this.
Cool.
Then they're off.
Oh, hell, I forgot about Pimlico.
Yeah, Bonnie South is getting ready to run there.
Bonnie South is another one. It's like that horse isn't that great.
Right.
Gotta want to beat Bonnie South, but I'm not sure she can lose.
Exactly. She's a problem.
I really did not want to pick her, but you try to pick against her, and it's like garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get some horse for Miz and Bo? Anybody? Anyone else? Miz and Bo's got a shot coming down from Canada. At least it's a new shooter.
Yeah.
I think so.
I played that horse, I think, second or third, maybe, because you're right. You just don't know.
Here's the danger when you pick a complexity to beat Honor Code or a horse like Honor Code. Complexity kind of sucks, but you could have got like this trip where it's all alone on the lead and didn't. Like, what are they doing with complexity?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, in this looks like, what was it? The Westchester earlier this year, where Endorse went to the lead and tried to go gate to wire against Code of Honor, and Code of Honor caught him.
Right. Now, complexity still has a ton of horse.
Yeah, he's still going.
Though,
I mean, endorsed is all in and done at this point.
Yeah, endorsed is done.
It looks like it's between Code of Honor and complexity, and right from the top of the stretch, looks like Code of Honor just going to run right by him.
Yeah,
but
because he didn't get a head start on him. Like, that was the whole thing that he needed to do. And he still may hold him off.
Complexity's got some horse. Boy.
Yeah, he's got some horse.
Well,
he's got some horse. Yeah, he's gonna hold it.
Code of Honor's not that good.
Go.
I mean,
No,
he's not.
it's
He's not.
no.
And also, Code of Honor went a lot faster than Code of Honor wants to go. I mean, a mile is not the best distance for that horse. It wants to go, mile and eighth, mile and a quarter, and
Right. It was a prep. It was a prep. Yeah,
And,
it was.
and Shug was like, "Listen, we coming off that." He basically said we had to restart on Code completely, and obviously the goal being the classic, and they did not want to run him back in that kind of race, or that a 2-turn type of race, and so this was where it's at. So yeah, we know he doesn't want to go like this, but at the same time, do you really trust Code of Honor anymore?
No,
Not really.
Well,
no.
and to be clear, I had complexity on top too. I 100% agree with what you're saying. I was just pissed that it's like, how did I handicap this? That horse is going to be 4 lengths ahead, and he's only like 2 lengths ahead of Code of Honor up the backside. But like you guys said,
whenever you handicap a race because you know it's going to happen a certain way, and the horse still wins, but it happened a completely different way.
But some of these New York races are tough because you have such short fields where you get a horse like that wasn't probably the ideal trip for Code of Honor, even though he did sit back.
Right.
He was closer. So, with a bet, especially if they do send him to the Classic, there's going to be much more pace in there for him to sit behind. I feel the same way about Tacitus too. His last race was just, he was forced to press a pace against a horse who, quite frankly, isn't great, but he was forced to press a pace, and he wants to sit 2 or 3 lengths off the lead. So when you ask him to do something they're not great at and they don't do it, he's not a machine. So, I think this year's class isn't fantastic. I think there's going to be a big price in the Classic this year, unless Tiz bounces back. But
yeah. Well, one thing you said for sure is Tacitus is definitely not a machine. I do agree with that.
I don't understand the New York people and the fascination with Tacitus. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
I like him.
It's too slim.
I'm alive to what we have going on here at Pimlico, but I'm single to Bonnie South. After listening to everyone else, I'm a little nervous.
She should win.
Yeah.
Not the most.
She's a terrible price right now at 3 to 5.
And
I just hate singling a horse that hasn't won since March, but yes, this is a very big fast relief.
I'm with you.
I'm a little worried about how the track is playing too. The track has been so much speed, and this horse is going to have to come from out of it. So,
I'm kind of intrigued by the 3 too. So darn hot.
Yeah,
this is a $600,000 daughter of Ghost Sapper.
Yeah.
Clearly, the last race was a prep. Wants more distance. They were going a mile just to get her going again. She's got the 81 buyer before the layoff. If she comes back and is able to improve off that, I think she's got a legit shot at getting by the 5 here too. So the 3 and the 7, I think, are the two that could spring the upset here if the 5 doesn't bring the A game.
Yeah, I actually had So Darn Hot second, I think, on the
same here. Yeah, I think me, you, and us 3 do have So Darn Hot second.
And like I think Haltman said it. It's like Bonnie South just is that kind of horse. It seems like is like the Sadler's Joy type of stuff where it's like you're going to see her come running late.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just she always collects a check, but she's just lately it's just been, and so you kind of have to figure out, is that just been a matter of she's just been facing horses like Speech and Venetian Harbor, Swiss Skydiver, or is it just a matter of that's kind of who she is? Like she just runs well underneath. I mean, when she won, she still only got an 85 buyer in the Fairground Oaks. It wasn't like it was this massive performance.
She's dead last as they break.
There you go.
Not great. Not where you want to be on the Pimlico track.
Make up about 15 links, 20 links. Easily done. The new shooter, Mizzenboo Bo, goes to the lead here. No surprise.
That's quick. I'll take the first quarter.
It's quick. That is quick.
Yeah, I will take that. If again, and you kind of know it, like you guys said, you kind of know what you're getting with Bonnie South. Like this isn't surprising. If you're surprised that you have a odds-on favorite dead last, then
this
can't really help you.
Yeah,
not
this
dead last.
6 is setting a really good trip.
6
at a huge price. He just looked over his shoulder a couple times to see if anyone was near him.
I think that's Horatio, isn't it? The Paz, the Sharp Star, who I think was at Saratoga. Meanwhile, Bonnie is starting to move.
Yeah, Bonnie's moving. I mean, you're going to get a
ease.
thrill here.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 is moving fast. Dream Marie.
Watch the 1 on the rail.
Yeah, one's moving.
One's moving too.
Oh, Bonnie's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, she does.
And really wide.
She's got a stretch. She's making up ground though.
Yep, she is.
She's making up ground. I don't know if she's going to be
trying her heart out. This 9.
Yeah, this 9 looks like she's going to.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Miss Marissa.
Look at Bonnie coming. Come on, Bonnie. Get up there. Get up there for Ricky. Bonnie, get up there, baby. Oh man.
and
heartbreaker.
I wish I could tell you I was surprised by that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No. And I had Miss Marissa second too.
How many winners have come?
Didn't pull the trigger.
How many winners have come from Saratoga or Kentucky Downs today?
Kentucky Downs is having a day.
I mean, they are winning all over the place on the turf.
Yeah.
So did the 7-8 hold on for 3rd and 4th?
I think so.
Yes, we got the super there, and that's awesome.
That's
9-5-8-7.
9-5-8-7. Yeah.
Sweet. That's a nice super.
That's gonna pay.
Yep.
You know what the worst feeling of it all, I guess, in this moment, and if you've been playing long enough, to get a horse like Catman home, $22. Mm-hmm. To get Locky home, I don't know if I'm saying that right, $16. And then you're single to a horse that will be coming from the highway and is the best horse in the race, talent-wise, and that evidence. You got the race that you kind of predicted. And to Samich's point, if Bonnie South is 1 length ahead of where she was into that first turn, you can make the argument that Bonnie South wins by a half a length or 3/4 of a length. And she still is the best horse. You can't rewatch that race and say she wasn't the best horse. I mean, it's evident she was. It's definitely a bad beat for sure. So we can scrap all the Pimlico.
It's tough singling closers like that, though.
There it is.
It is tough singling closers like that. I mean, I've definitely, I think we've all done it before, but I mean, especially when you know they're coming from the clouds, that is a tough. They're always tough singles because you never know what the pit like. I feel like it's much easier to single a horse like a Factor This who's going to make his own trip on the front end rather than single a horse like Bonnie South who's going to be coming from the clouds and she might be good enough, but she just might run out of the track like that.
Right.
But it's what could go wrong. The list is lengthy for a closer.
Yeah.
Trip. They've got to be able to make sure they don't get in traffic trouble. They can't go too wide. They have to have the pace up front. I mean, there's a bunch of things that can go wrong. Someone not get the jump on them. With a horse that's in the front, it's just simply don't get pressed or be able to sit right behind the horse that's on the lead and go by. So it's always nice when you can single those stalker or the leader types.
Yeah.
All right, we are 3 minutes to the first lady at Keeneland. Here's our ticket, by the way. It has been bet there.
No, that's the wrong track I pulled up.
And we are, that is what is that Breeders' Cup win in for the, what is the first
Philly
lady?
Mare Turf.
Mark Philly Mare Turf. And look at this, 3-2 on newspaper, 7-5 is 7-5 on newspaper record, 2-1 on Uni, 5-2 on Bo Recall. So newspaper record is the favorite. I mean, I guess people just still are going to try to beat or not going to trust Bo Recall to, even though we talked about this on the pod, Bo Recall's beat both those fillies.
Is there any? I didn't look at the two at all, but is anybody going to press newspaper of record here? I mean, it won't shock me if she coughs it up again, but
That's the key.
I mean, I think the three scratching seems to be like a key scratch there because the 3 usually is at least up near the pace, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So the only one that will maybe press is the 6, the Dwayne Lucas trainee with the 6. They'll send that horse coming out of sprints, has been close to the lead. You think, that horse is going to go, but you also got to think, well, that horse is probably cheap speed. So, what is.
I'm also excited that Tyler's getting a shot on newspaper of record, not Javier.
I like that a lot better.
Being honest. Or not Javier. Irad. Doesn't Irad usually ride her?
Rad and Castellano got it, last time.
Yeah.
Castellano screwed up last time, I thought.
Yeah.
So what do you guys believe most in here? Do you believe in the Uni or newspaper record?
This is. I think Overcall beat them both.
Because you have the is newspaper records simply just a 1-turn horse regardless of the mile? Is Uni done? That's the question here. We have not seen the Uni that we saw in the Breeders' Cup yet this year. Like I mentioned on Blinkers Off, this is it for her, to me. I mean, she's had excuses left and right. The first 2, there's a small field. She's got the pace set up. It should be there. So Uni's got a lot to lose, I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, we said the same thing. I feel like got Stormy finally. It took her 4 or 5 starts this year to bounce back, so...
Yeah. I mean, the first start, you can make an excuse off the layoff. Newspaper record just that was too easy for her. And then last time, for whatever reason, in the 4-star Dave, no Chad Brown horses did anything in that race. So I guess you could say, well, she's had excuses and she has won it in the past.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't know how you look.
Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, how do you look at Uni and just say she's the same horse, kind of to Jared's point, like this isn't a resume when you make a bet. You're not betting on resumes. You're kind of betting on what you see in the moment.
Right.
I mean, she's another horse though. She wants to come from the clouds, and you don't have an ideal trip or pace scenario in a couple straight races, and all of a sudden everyone's ready to throw in the towel on her.
You don't see that very often. You don't see a horse go right by newspaper record and get to the lead.
Yeah, this is not what newspaper wants to do.
No.
Yeah, Tyler's holding her too. It looks like.
Well, 23, almost 24 seconds is fast on this turf course. And we were seeing 48s or 49s, 51s. Like,
yeah,
I want to say the last time newspaper record won by not being on the lead early in the race was on her debut. I mean, that's how long we're talking.
I still thought you were going to say last time she won was never, not on the lead.
Her debut, she did it easily barely off the rip, but she wasn't this far out of it.
She looks like she's
It was
loaded.
but it was on.
Tyler's still
was
got a
also-
snug
Both
hug
Chad
on her.
Browns look very good at this this juncture of the race.
Yeah. Oh wow, he just floated. He just floated
That ain't
Uni
good.
so wide.
Look at Uni gonna go. Come on, Uni. Look at this. There's gonna be a race here. Come on.
Bo Recall's coming.
Come on,
Bo
Bo.
Recall is coming.
Come on, Bo Recall.
Come on, Uni. Get up.
Come on,
Come on,
Uni. Come on, Bo.
Come on, Uni.
Uni got it.
Uni.
Uni got it.
Back.
Uni, Bo Recall,
And
then newspaper of record third, it looked like.
I don't think they're sending newspaper of record to the Breeders' Cup after that.
No.
No, but that was
What race would you run her in? That's the problem.
No.
you'd have to run her in the turf sprint, and she's not good enough.
Yeah,
I think.
range she might be.
Uni, that was good. That was kind of old Uni right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she ran well.
Yeah,
She got a pace. She got a pace set up today, and no
Can I-
traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was going to play, but Vinny, to your point, I want to play to Samich's point. That was extremely quick. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a better performance than what we've seen, but if she couldn't get it done there, she was never getting it done this year. So I'm not saying Uni didn't run well, but to Samich's point, like 23-4. I mean, she has to get it done at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not get it done after 23-4?
Ooh, the two buckled bad there at the break.
Yeah.
And that actually is not. It's going to be decent for the pick 4. That will play a little bigger than 2-1. I bet. I bet you had a lot of tickets that were singled to newspaper record there.
I mean, that knocked out some people for sure. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people that played both Chad Browns, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, getting newspaper beat there definitely helps. As far as the question go, like, she's tough because, like, I think she's very good horse, but you're like, where does she fit? You know, I think no matter what, if it's a mile, if it's 2 turns, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, she seems to be a one turn. She seems to love one turn, and that's it.
And, you know, she runs well, and it's just, you can't, but she just gives it up way too easy and then today, you know, ran a different style, like we talked about, and, you know, but she still had every reason to win the race. She obviously was loaded, and she still got ran down. So I know she got beat by Uni, who obviously showed that more of that Breeders' Cup type class today, but still, we're talking about the Breeders' Cup now, right? This is the Breeders' Cup winning you're in. Where do you put her?
I wonder if they were trying to take her back. I know that's crazy to think, but I wonder if they were trying, like, maybe this will work. It was just very weird to see her do that. I thought, okay, go Blaze. The other thing about this horse is when she was 2, I thought she was the second coming of something. She looked so good. And I picked her here because I'm like, I can't let this horse beat me. I remember how great she is. She's going to how could she? It's a weird thing to be disappointed by such a nice horse. It's not like she sucks. It's just she's not, like, there's no distance for where she's clearly the best at.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because she's very disappointing, but she's still good. Yeah, I think you said it.
Well put, man.
Yeah, but Ryan, you know, to your point, I don't think they were, but at the same time, the jock had a handful of horse, so maybe they were trying to do something. I don't know. And it would be a very bold move by Tyler Gaffleone, who's never been on the horse, to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to take a hold and see what happens. You know, you've got to watch the video like the rest of us and say, well, she's kind of, you know, she's just the type of horse. And there's one in seemingly every division. Get her to the front. And if she loses on the lead, then that's fine. But if you're going to rate her, then she's like Serengeti Empress, right? It's like, get her to the front. You lose on the front, well, forget it. Like, she just didn't win.
I feel like at least one time on these shows every week we always say, well, they didn't use the weapon. They didn't use her speed. Like, why didn't we see them use the number one weapon that this horse has? And you know, Uni was 2 lengths behind her around the turn. You want Uni to be 8 lengths behind you if you're newspaper record. You want her to really have to come catch you versus just have that 1 length lead going into the stretch, because it's going to be hard to hold off a horse like Uni, a horse like Beau Recall. We're going to be charging at you down the stretch if you're not far enough in front of them.
Yep.
Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, and you guys know me, like, I love a good horse that just goes and just lays it out there, and whether or not they're good enough, we'll find out. But, you know, when, like Gamine and the Oaks, you're just like, just go, just bring it. I mean, maybe they aren't good enough, but at least you're using their best weapon, which is to put away other horses early in the race where they don't have anything left late in the race, So, and when you lay off of it, you're essentially removing Newspaper Record's biggest weapon, which is blazing early, and then letting all these other horses late in the race basically be right there with her, and it just makes it really tough, especially for a horse that we've established does not like going 2-turn races. So,
yeah. You know what really sucks for her is like if Chad Brown can't get this horse to be better than there's like no one on earth, in my opinion. Like I believe that we're seeing her very. Do you know what I'm saying, Aaron? You see what you're saying? Yeah. It's like.
I mean, I feel like he's kind of exhausted all his, what he can do with her.
Yeah, like he's trying everything he can to get these 2-turn races and let's go win a grade 1, and it's just like it's not there. And then it's like, yeah, where are we going to send her? Well, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Well, great. I mean, that's obviously if any of us owned the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint winner, we would be ecstatic, but not those connections. They don't really want to go win that race, so to speak.
And what's funny, we're kind of giving her shit. We know she's a good horse, but this is a horse who to finish second today and has never not finished second other than one time.
Right.
And that was in the Belmont Oaks. But she
finished third.
Second.
She finished third.
It's expectations. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's the expectations.
She finished third.
She got nipped by Bo Recall at the wire.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's her first non-ninth place or her second place.
But yeah.
Hey, what we got here?
Belmont.
Yeah, Belmont. We're 11 minutes away.
Okay, we got 11 minutes there. Pimlico is 37. We got a while there. Okay.
At Keeneland, the King Fury opened up at 4-1, down from 12-1, and Calibrate opened up as the 8-5 favorite.
King Fury. If King Fury wins that race, it's going to be the ultimate jab because that's my freaking pick.
Have some balls, Jared, and put them on this.
Oh, I saw you over there starting to cry because I wasn't going to pick Calibrate.
Hey, you've made me cry several times, okay? So that wouldn't have been the first time.
If you wanted to pick him so bad, you should have picked in that race.
Listen, I had to save it with Analyze It.
Art Collector 2-1, 1,000 Words 6-1, Swiss Skydiver 12-1, Authentic is 3-2, Pneumatic is 13-1. And that is 36 minutes to post for the Preakness.
How about Ricky's Upstriker at 10-1? That horse has one of the best speed figures of anybody in the bunch, and he's 10-1.
That was my So I guess I'll walk through that.
Please do.
And that kind of was my. No, well, that was my thinking behind it, right? Because Essential Quality entered this spot at 2-1. Now, Brad Cox, Luis Saez, the connections are a little bit more well-known. But to Aaron's point, I mean, Upstriker, granted, coming from Ellis, not through Churchill, maybe that, I don't know. There are a lot of things that have to do with it, but he just jumped off the screen. So we're going to make the case that some of these horses are making their second starts. We saw it at Saratoga a lot, with the Hopeful, and some of these horses, they have that massive maiden race. They don't bounce back the same, or one maiden race isn't as impressive as the next, and then they take a step forward. I'm just saying, is this maybe his Ron McQuet's next Whitmore? I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that's a price that, we talked about 2-year-old races. We talked about it. Aaron and I talk about it all the time. And we look at a horse like Jackie's Warrior, who ran at Saratoga, and it's like you could see a lot of improvement where you can't project the improvement sometimes. So that's where I went. I think 8-1 is a nice price for a 2-year-old that's going to make their second start, who did absolutely nothing wrong in their debut.
There you go. No, I'm with you. Like I kind of like Upstriker. I'm glad somebody picked that horse because I would hate Moquette to beat us there for sure.
Price is right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of like with Essential Quality. I don't think that horse should be bet. Like, well, I guess it's 7-2 now, but I didn't like. I don't think Mike, you guys didn't like that horse on Magic Mike show either, did you?
No. I was surprised that was your 2-1 favorite. Just from a speed figure perspective, the horse a little bit slower. There wasn't a ton that came out of that maiden race at Churchill. So for me, I would much rather look to the horses that are coming from Saratoga in both Calibrate, the 7, and Founder the 8. Dixie's 2 Stints is coming out here from Del Mar for some reason after facing some of the best in the West Coast. So I think that horse makes some sense here at 16-1. And then Upstriker's numbers in the first race give it every chance to improve too. So. To try and take a 2-1 morning line price, I'm not sure what the price right now is on Essential Quality seems way too low. It feels like a connections play. The people are playing Brad Cox quite a bit here, but I think you got to look elsewhere at that price.
Yeah, and we had Travel Column come back the other day and didn't run bad, but there was a Brad Cox, kind of the same situation, only on the Philly side. Huge maiden winner. It's at the Churchill Downs, and everybody was excited, and didn't run bad. Like I said, got third, I think, but just wasn't a great performance. So now you got the same thing with Essential Quality, who actually got a much lower figure as well for that win. So yeah, it makes sense to me. Thrown off. I was sitting here thinking, if we lose this thing, I'm definitely going to blame Ryan for if we miss it before, because we knew we didn't need newspaper of record. Everybody passed but him, and he had to throw her in, and then we had to go shorter another leg.
Look at these will pays heading into the Preakness.
Crazy.
They're
even if you get authentic, you're looking at 28,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awfully interesting.
Yeah,
I wish they're go almost off as almost co-favorites.
Yeah,
based on all the will pays, it's going to be very, very close. You're looking at probably like 8-5, 9-5 on the two of them, which I think is a little nutty.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
So in the guide, I had Miss Marissa second. Had I not singled Bonnie South, I'd be alive to it all. So I have no interest in talking about the Preakness at this point.
Friend, what's your favorite saying about your uncle and your aunt?
Oh, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, Ricky.
I wasn't alive when she said that, though. It doesn't count. I wasn't alive.
These Jersey boys, they don't know anything. They don't know. These young guys, they've never heard a good saying like that.
We are 6 minutes to post to the Belmont Derby, which, believe it or not, is a win and you're in.
Let's talk about the foe.
It's an interesting race. I mean, it's for the turf, but I mean, shit, it's not a good field here.
No,
I mean, in domestic spending, the horse that you might think is decent is out. So,
Ricky, you like Gafo?
Yeah, I don't know where else you can really go. To be honest, like I don't know how much everyone looked into this race, but I don't really know how you can make a case for another horse, because it seemed on paper it was domestic spending and Gufo. You take one of them out. Where do you look at No Word, who finished third to those horses, and try to make a claim there? I mean, I don't know. I just kind of see this. If someone is alive at Belmont, I think a lot of people have Gufo singled. He really hasn't done anything wrong.
You just talked about earlier about
we probably think is better.
You guys talked earlier about how well Kentucky Downs is doing. What about Moon Over Miami? A horse?
Yeah, that's who I like here. Is Moon Over Miami at a price. I don't like that Cancel's on him, but that's really my negative. That's really my negative.
I mean, who's the pace? I mean, you're just saying Gufo is a single. Gufo is going to be coming from the clouds with no pace. That would be my biggest concern. I can't. I've looked through the field twice. I can't figure out who's going to be on the lead.
Mo Ready, I guess. I mean,
I think Mo Ready would be. Yeah, I was going to say. I think Mo Ready would be the horse that is probably going to. And Kendrick Carmouche is one of the more, I'll say, aggressive. If I don't really have to give him a characteristic, Pletcher is going to tell him, "You got to go." I mean, you're not going to be able to beat a horse like Gufo from the clouds. So, what choice do you have?
The other one I like in here is South Bend. I wish they didn't run this horse in the Derby. He was cross-entered in a turf race that day, and I really liked him in that spot, getting on the turf. And they decided to go in the Derby with him, and he ran terrible. So I think at a price, I'm hoping he can run well on the turf. but I've been waiting for him to go on the turf now for a month and a half.
What about Pixelate?
So
Yeah, that was the one I was just looking at too.
Yeah.
Second off a layoff, City Zip.
I'd
It's
rather
nice talking position.
Pixelate, yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
I think that's
The
the one that
problem-
trip.
The biggest problem, I agree to both of your points. I think Pixelate is the horse. The problem with South Bend is this horse went from the dirt to the turf, didn't pick up one win, then was thrown into these stakes races and already lost to Gaffoe. So how it seems like they just don't know what to do with this horse. That's the angle I got. I guess 12-1 on the morning line kind of reflects that. Just
Yeah,
if you're
I
looking
agree
at a
with that.
price, there's talent. But I think you're looking at a horse with South Bend. It's like you're trying to find a price. They don't seem to know what to do with this horse. I mean, their track record is. I mean, he wasn't even close to Gaffoe, and none of his turf races are even close enough to winning this.
Yeah, and
unless
I'm
Gaffoe
not
doesn't show up.
I'm not a big fan of Dylan on the turf either. But I've just been waiting. I've just had this one tab for like a month or two, waiting for it to run back on the turf. So I'll take a shot with her. Well, him.
I'm going to throw a crazy underneath horse. I'm going to put the 9 in the second and third spot in my trap. 25-1, longest shot on the board. Maker claims this horse for $80,000, ships it across the country, and ran a decent buyer compared to the rest of this field. And Maker, pretty smart horse guy, pretty good off the claim. Don't love
He's having a killer year.
But 25-1, that horse could pick up the pieces and blow the prices up.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. I think
Yeah.
when you start talking about underneath horses, I think we're going to see something a little weird. I don't think you're going to see 3 favorites come in 1, 2, 3 here.
Well, I'll tell you, Moon over Miami or Pixelate over Gufo, and then you get like the 9 horse in third. That's a nice try.
Yeah, I will pay.
Yeah.
For an 8 horse field, there's definitely money to be made here in terms of the try, because I do think that there's some prices here that you can kind of mix in with like a favorite winning or running well, and make, like you say, if that 9 jumps in there, and the 9 and the Moon over Miami jumps in there with who's the Gofo still pay.
I think I'm with Ricky though. I do think Gaffoe is the best. That's the horse that at 8-5 really. If you like that horse, that's a good price. So I get it, but I do think we can mix some horses in with him here. If you don't just want to bet, well, now 3-2 as they cross over to the turf. And
Does anyone know why domestic spending scratched?
Yeah, it was Ricky told me because he was really scared of Gaffoe, like super terrified. Yeah.
Well, to Samich's point on Pixelate, I don't think people really give Jose Lezcano his credit on the turf. When he's on the dirt for Linda and usually rides for Linda Rice, I don't want to say he's average, but he's decent. When he gets on the turf, he's unbelievable. And I think this is the type of horse where it's like kind of shipping from the West Coast, Michael Stidham, maybe not as familiar, I'm with Samich. If you want to throw Gaffoe out or anyone who else pick Pixelate, I think that's the horse you would have to look at, because we've already kind of seen no word run against this horse. Why would you use no word when you kind of saw what you're going to get versus Pixelate, where there's that more of the unknown factor?
This would be an interesting race to do a jockey draft too, because Jose Ortiz goes 1. Who goes 2?
Yeah. Well, anybody's guess.
I think Lezcano, you can make the case for Lezcano on the turf being second. I think that's because no one wants to use Dylan Davis.
No, I know. That's
it
kills me. It's like I like the 2 Mott runners in here, but it's like my 2 least favorite New York jockeys are on both of them.
All right, in the game. We need Slim to get in here, Jared, so he can call this race for us.
Mo Ready right to the front.
Yeah, Mo Ready and Pixelate.
Slim is going to make an appearance, I believe, here shortly.
Yeah,
for the
I see
Preakness.
him.
Can we not get hung 3 wide?
In the
now?
lobby.
Just sit back, buddy. There we go.
Benjamin Hernandez has him on.
Moon over Miami took the scenic route.
Yeah, the 9 followed it too.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, where's Gafoo? On the rail, just on the rail, tucked in. Perfect.
Yeah, he's not.
For Moon over Miami, he's got a decent stalking trip at least.
Yeah, he blew the first turn though, and he's been wide. He'll get caught late.
I played my boy Moon over Miami. I'm looking for those 5 points.
No worries.
Come on.
I dropped him in like January.
Yeah.
But I still get those 5 points.
No, but
I dropped him for no parole. So no parole sucked yesterday. So I got Moon over Miami in this race. Oh, no word is cutting it.
No words getting the trip.
No word.
Yeah, no word's got a good trip going.
No word split. I'm in Mo ready. The 28-1 long shot still takes him into the far turn. No word is at his throat latch. Mo over Miami.
There he is.
And they come from the back of the stretch. And they come for home. And
Oh, Gufo is moving.
Yep.
Oh, Moon over Miami's coming back. Not really.
Not really.
Gufo got to find a hole. Gufo got to find a hole. He doesn't find a hole quite yet, Gufo.
Oh, I don't know if this 3's going to let him by.
No.
Fletcher.
Oh.
Gufo's out now.
Here they come. Here comes Gufo.
Gufo's
Oh,
flying.
he got loose now.
He
He
can
got
get him.
loose
Here
now.
comes Gufo. Here comes Gufo.
Loose now.
Here comes your 9, Tomich.
Got it. 2-1. 2-1 for Gufo.
Oh.
Over
Now
no
he got
word. And Mo already gets third.
That 9 gets up in third. I'm
Welcome
happy.
to Saratoga Slim.
Welcome to the feed, Slim. It's great to have you.
Already at 28-1 gets third. We'll juice up that trifecta in the Belmont Derby.
That horse is in the Breeders' Cup now, folks.
Yeah.
Go yourself.
That's a good horse, though. Gufo's a solid horse.
Come on,
That's
gotta get his
what I'm
first
excited to
Breeders'
do.
Cup win,
That's a
dude.
nice horse.
Imagine if Gufo was Clement's first Breeders' Cup winner.
What?
Really? He doesn't have one?
Never won, dude.
That's surprising.
He's 0 for 38 or something.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
It'll be
Slim.
interesting to see who gets that mount. It won't be Alvarado.
No.
That's a strong Rosario candidate. Rosario on that horse would be very good.
Yeah. That would fit very well.
Yeah, he's
And
been on him
he's
once. He was on him once at the AOC.
He rode him in Aqueduct too. First start ever. Just missed.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pick out a winner here.
I think when we look at those times, I think that's even more impressive. They were
Nice.
going pretty slow on the front end, and we talked about who was going to be the speed. I think Mo Reddy got an absolutely perfect ride. You couldn't really do that over again any better if you had Mo Reddy in something.
Yeah, what happened to Pixelate there? He was like right there on the lead, and then I forgot he was in the race until I just saw the ticket that Myers had on the stream there.
Yeah, he got shuffled first turn pretty bad.
He kind of pissed down his leg a little bit. That's how I would describe Pixelate there. He looked around. He said, "Oh shit, I'm not in California facing those mules. I'm screwed."
I'm gone. All right, on to Keeneland.
Let's see. Yeah, we are 8 minutes post for the Futurity. Who picked? Somewhat did you throw in the 6?
Of course I did. Come on.
I would say that's got you
Who
written
else-
all
who
over
else
it.
did you pick this
22-1. It's like I didn't do that. Yeah, Dixie's Two Stints is sitting here at 22-1 off of a. I guess let's talk about this because this horse just got blasted last time out. Why do you like this horse here?
So I'm playing back to the maiden start. Okay, ran a 78 and to break its maiden at Del Mar in what I thought was actually a pretty good, or it didn't break a maiden, ran second at Del Mar, but what I thought was a pretty good maiden special weight. They enter it right back in the Del Mar Futurity, which is a grade 1. O'Neill is a pretty aggressive trainer, so it's not shocking he moves right to a grade 1. But he goes off at 2-1 in that race against Dr. Scheibel and Spielberg, who are both horses that take a lot of money. There's no way this horse goes off at 2-1 unless it wasn't showing a ton of talent. And then decide to ship it across the country and have it show up here. I'm willing to take a swing. These are 2-year-olds. You see a lot of progression and regression race to race, and getting the price on this horse makes sense to me to include in these multi-race bets.
I don't hate it. I mean, like you say, I'm a big proponent of those the 2-year-old you can't, like, especially first couple, like a horse that just looks awful the next time out, they run really well. And so, these 2-year-olds are, and the same goes for a horse like the 7, like Calibrate, with a horse that runs really well, sometimes will not the next time out. So, these 2-year-olds, it's tough to depend on the 2-year-olds. Let's put it that way. King Fury, a horse that I picked on the pod, is 9-2 off the 12-1 morning line. So that's going to burn. Founder, we got some prices in here other than Calibrate. That feels good to have some coverage in this race. This is the rate we went 4 deep, I think, in this one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are looking at Gufo right now. There's an inquiry.
Yeah, it looks like he caught in front. It looks like he moved in front of the 8, but I don't think that changes anything. I mean, maybe you could argue the 8 finishes better than he did, but I didn't see much when they showed that. When they showed the head on, it wasn't much. It looked like Gufo was clear already when he moved over.
Yeah,
a little bit. It won't shock me, but it would be. I feel bad for everyone who played Gufo there because he was the best horse.
Yeah, and the 8, I think you leave it the same. I think the 8, the 9 and the 6 were getting by the 8 anyway in this spot. Also, the win in your in factor too is it makes it a lot tougher to pull Gufo down here.
Yeah.
That's true. Not more than one here.
No, what should I play in this race, this futurity? Give me a bet. I like Founder and Calibrate. Should I just box those 2 up and call it a day?
Well, Founder at 6-1 is a hell of a price. Morning line, I would say no, but I mean, right there, 6-1 if he wins, it's going to be worth it.
He was one of the few horses at Saratoga that, like, I have a couple of friends who go up in the morning, who like were up there in the mornings, and like he was one of the few horses that I was tipped on before his debut, and I thought for sure he was going to get pounded on debut, and he didn't take any. He didn't really take money on his debut either.
Yeah,
and he won after not so great of a break. So again, he's not really taking up from the 5-2 morning line. Just I'm still on him.
Yeah, I mean, Calibrate. The only thing a knock I have against Calibrate is Engrave, who ran second in that race, came back and ran real flat at Belmont. So that maiden race may not be great, but Calibrate was it was another steam horse. Like, everyone heard that horse was very good in the morning before that race to go out, especially when it went off at 2-1 at Saratoga. Slim, if you want to drop a try in, go 7-8 with 2-6-7-8 with 2-6-7-8.
2-6.
They get you some prices in the second, third spot.
Up Striker and Dixie 2 cents. All right, cool. I mean, freaking what was that horse name? K next go. Go on this race, so 91 shot, whatever the hell he was that day. He was like,
go. Heather would say,
Knicks go. If Knicks go in this race, it's Dixie 2/10.
So what? Michael's asking about Super Shock. I think Super Shock's interesting too. If wherever Aston has a horse, if Santana's not riding it, it's riding another one, I generally don't play it. It's one of the main reasons I left the one horse off. Anyone else have feelings about Super Shock here?
I feel the same way.
Yeah, same. And listen, this horse was winning races down in Texas, which is fine, and then it came to Churchill, and I didn't think ran that great. So I think Super Stock's a little bit over his head against this kind of competition. And real quick,
I think the horse underneath is possible. I think that horse could run well underneath, in the third spot, but I don't see a horse winning.
What's this Upstriker horse about? Or you like this Upstriker, Samich?
He's quick. He's
Upstart, quick.
He's
first figure.
quick.
Son of Upstart?
Yeah.
Nice.
All you needed to say.
Had me at Upstart.
Slim's triggers.
Had me at Upstart.
Yeah. He's a half to Tacitus, Slim.
What?
I'm kidding.
Don't
His
do
world
that.
shattered for a second.
Upstart had sex with closed hatches? That'd be good. Wow.
The 2 points
I don't think Upstart gets to have sex with a horse like that.
Maybe a couple years. Give him time.
Quickly, the 2 points I wanted to make on Calibrate.
Give him time.
Founder closed with 21 and Founder closed into a 21-4 first quarter on a muddy track, none of those horses had any experience. None of those horses have come back to win. You look at Calibrate, took money, takes the extra half furlong, and some of those horses like United and Resolute came out of that race and ran well earlier in the day again. I just think the fields, I forgot who mentioned it. I think the two fields that they faced were just drastically different. So I think that's why you're kind of seeing the price discrepancy.
I thought the field of the Calibrate face was actually an easier field than the field that Founder faced. I mean, the horse that ran second to Founder came back to break his maiden the next start. So I think the 8 is actually coming out of a better race than the 7 is.
I think the 9 looks better than all of them in the post.
Yeah, no,
That's my boy.
Yeah, I let Kenny McPeak beat me too much this year, so the 9 is probably going to be your winner.
Yeah.
Got me yesterday. Although I will say we are entering dangerous territory when it comes to McPeak. I like the 12-1. I don't like 5-1. I mean, 12-1 I play all day long and higher on McPeak. That's the kind of horse. But this was a $950,000 purchase. Who did win on debut and a $100,000 maiden special weight. The factor here is just got a poor number, but did everything right and came off the pace and was very professional about it. So,
one thing we didn't mention on the 9-2. It's the only horse that's gone 2 turns. Everyone else broke the maiden in 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 had 2 turns to do it, so it's not a new thing here for the 9 going around twice.
And keep in mind, anybody watching this, there's some nicely bred horses in this. Obviously, this race produces a lot of horses down the road. So, I mean, definitely something to pay attention to, not just the Breeders' Cup, but as we move forward into, of course, the Kentucky Derby.
All right, loading in.
This one is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile on November 3rd. Keeneland Racetrack will host the Breeders' Cup race.
It's good to have you on the show.
And they're off. Good break from the outside from the number 9, King Fury. But inside, it looks like I can't know because they all got yellow. These fucks.
Seriously, Keeneland. Colors on these.
I don't know who that is.
That is that is why Slim doesn't actually call races.
Up Striker. All right.
That's Up Striker.
Yeah, Up Striker's in front.
That's Up
And on the outside, Central Quality. Under Luis Saez.
I hate same color saddle cloths.
3rd and 4th on the inside is Superstock. And on the outside is Notary.
Notary.
Yes, Notary.
Yep. Oh, 9 signature.
And keep me in mind.
Who's that in last?
Almost 24 flat for the first quarter.
That's your horse.
That's my horse.
Striker setting a tepid pace.
That's running late.
Very slow second quarter, 48.86. And Up Striker. Looking good on the George Alamo. But on the outside, number 4, Central Quality.
No, it's Frank.
9-5. The late click was to Central Quality, the favorite. Takes over, and they might not be able to reel him in.
They're not going to be.
He's
going to win by fun.
here. The 1 Superstock is in 3rd, but way back.
The Founder's moving.
Central Quality just looks like he's
Oh, he blew the turn, though. He blew
I don't
the
think they're
turn.
going to be reeling in a Central Quality today. But 2 horses are coming. I don't know who they are.
The 5. Who's the 5?
Keep me in mind. It ain't going to get to him, though.
No.
Good Lord.
Central Quality, who just dropped over this field.
I cannot get Brad Cox right this weekend.
Wow.
That sucks. You hate the favorite, you hit the all button, you get the 2-1 favorite.
That's gross.
Do we have the 4 on our joint ticket or no?
You went off 9-5.
No, I didn't think we would have.
Whoa, they're singing. They're singing at Pimlico right now.
Louis Saez.
Who were the horses that came up late there?
The 5 and the 1.
Yeah. The 8 blew the turn, or I think he would have at least gotten up for 4th.
How about that? Look at that try. Look at that super. We didn't have
any of them.
We had the 2.
We had the 2. We had the 2.
That's all we had of the top 4.
Davey Cohn gets the place.
Unbelievable.
Davey Cohn flew out to Keeneland.
The who's that? Laban?
I don't think.
Been having a heck of a year as a sire.
Yeah.
Lauban?
Yeah, Alabama. Oh, that was.
That sucks. I can't. I mean, I've been on the Brad Coxes, and they get beat, and I've tried to beat them, and they beat me, especially at Keeneland.
Well, this will be the Godolphin one for next year's Derby, I'm sure.
Yep.
That was a nice performance for sure.
It was.
We are 9 minutes to post. And
Yeah, is it a coincidence that when they go all yellow saddlecloths, the 4 wins?
That was the tell.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the Preakness, because that's kind of what people are tuning in for here. We've got, it's obviously a Breeders' Cup winner in as well this year, first time ever for the Classic. So lots on the line here. Let's see, 3-2, holding steady on Authentic there. 5-2 on Art Collector, 6-1 on 1,000 Words. Pneumatics 13-1, Swiss Skydivers 11-1. So really, I mean, Authentic is holding steady at 3-2, 5-2 on Art Collector. Slim, we talked about this race a little bit ago, but you weren't on. So Slim, what's your thoughts on this race?
You got to play against somebody in there, and the horse I'm playing against is Art Collector. I know that Samich is high on this horse. I don't like horses coming off any type of injury. He missed the Derby. I don't know how bad it was, but it was bad enough that he had to miss the Derby. So I don't like him, and I don't like Swiss Skydiver either. It could be a fast pace, but it doesn't matter because Authentic is on another level. And these horses see the difference. What happened in 2016 when Nyquist got pressed? It was pressed by Cheap Speed. And Cheap Speed, they have only one way to win, and that's to go to the front and try to press. And that's why Nyquist got in problem in the 2016 Preakness. I don't see that happening today because I don't think Swiss Skydiver or Art Collector are going to give up their best chance of winning by trying to press Authentic into the dirt. So I think they're going to let Authentic get away. Even if he goes fast, he keep going. And I just don't know if those two can hang. So I'm hoping that the next group of 1,000 Words and Pneumatic get up underneath him, and then always Max Player is going to get fourth. So you got to play him at the bottom of the superfecta. So that's my try. Authentic over 1,000 Words, over Pneumatic, and Max Player. Those are my top 4.
I mean, it's definitely one of those races that it's fun. It's if you are playing off even if you do play Authentic on top, the prices around him are you can make some money in this race. So I think the opportunity is there, certainly, especially in an 11-horse field. I'd love to get Mr. Tiz the Law. We don't have the other representative in the room today, but we'll have the second biggest fan here, and that's Mike Samich. You have a true hatred for Authentic these days. So how are you going to play this race?
It's pretty passionate, well, I'm going to take Accession on top of Live Your Beast Life with Jesus' team in third, since that's the Magic Mike entry here. Trifecta, and it will pay stacks on stacks. No, in all seriousness, I am going to play that for a buck boxed, because if that hits, it would be epic. It won't, but if it does, it would be epic. Don't waste your $6. I'll waste mine. I like Art Collector on top. I actually disagree with Slim. I think that you're going to see Swiss Skydiver shoot out to the lead. You got 3 horses that have 110 plus time form ratings on the front. If 2 of them hook up, I think you're going to see a real fast pace here. And that's the one thing. The pace was actually pretty quick for what we expected in the Derby, but there was absolutely no pressure at all on Authentic. I think Authentic is going to at least have one horse on its throat latch. And if it's not able to get to the rail first, which is the key here, is it can Authentic clear over to the rail before the first turn? If he cannot, I think he's going to be in a world of hurt here, being on the outside of another speed horse. And I think Art Collector, who has shown the ability to rate, is the horse that you got to look at as the one that can kind of pick him up. I mean, I was talking to Aaron and Jared about this earlier today. I don't really love this race, to be honest. Like it's a race where it's horses that I think I'm projecting out how I think they're going to improve or do. I think anyone could win this race, though. I think this is absolutely wide open. I think you should definitely take shots at prices underneath. I think you got to really decide who you want to throw out here. I think Swiss Skydiver is the obvious chuck. She wasn't able to hang with Art Collector before, and she's in much deeper waters today. So I'm definitely not going to be using her anywhere. I think Pneumatic, Mr. Big News, and honestly, and Live Your Beast Life are the 3 that I think can come in and pick up some pieces here and get really balloon up the tries in the supers.
Halterman, you want to add anything to that?
Well, I think the main thing that he hit on, and it's absolutely right, Authentic's got to get to the lead, and if he does get hung wide, it's going to be a problem. The thing that I have confidence that he will be able to get that trip that kind of Slim is talking about, where he's on the lead, he's going fast, but he's not pressed. You know, he drew all the way almost or to the outside in the Kentucky Derby, and he was able to get over. So I think they'll kind of do the same exact thing, kind of just keep him out in the middle and gradually get him over. So I feel pretty good about his chances. I think the key to this race was that a fluke in Kentucky, or is this horse the real deal? If he's the real deal, they're running for second. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But it was so much of an improvement and so much different than what we saw from him in the past that there's a chance it was a fluke. And that's why I think he's not a single. You kind of got to play some other horses in with him. But now, I mean, Authentic, I think, great shot to go wire to wire. I think Pneumatic really picks up the pieces. I love him at 13-1. I think 100% he's going to sit in that fourth or fifth spot and be the first one to get run at those leaders up top. I thought his race last time out at Monmouth was really good, even though he didn't face anything. He looked better than he had looked in the past. So Pneumatic is my 13-1 kind of second underneath type play, but I really just think Authentic, if he is what he was in the Kentucky Derby, I don't think they can beat him.
Hey, Ryan, you are more of a historian of the group here, and I know you're a big believer in obviously what Baffert has done. It's hard not to believe what he does in the Preakness. What are your, like, obviously it's different order this year, but we did have the Derby and then following that, the Preakness as normal, just a couple extra weeks. So, I mean, is that kind of a big angle, you think, with the Baffert angle? Just, I mean, if he's got a horse that's live in the Preakness, it's harder to play against.
It really is. I mean, I think the worst performance out of a horse that I can recall that in like the relative times recently that he brought from the Derby that performed awesome at the Preakness was Pioneer of the Nile. Like, that horse just didn't fire for whatever reason. He did so well in Kentucky. But, you know, the thing is, this race, when you look at the history of the Triple Crown, this race produces the most champion horses, right? Like, and the reason that happens is it's the most fair race. The Derby is usually 20 horses there, so you don't get a fair race there. Most horses don't want to go the length of the Belmont. So the best horse technically gets its best chance to win in the Preakness. And from what we've seen this year, that's Authentic. So I just think Baffert, he knows how to train these horses. He's got him to do it already once. He's proven that he can bring a horse from Kentucky here. I just don't know, even if he regresses, if he could regress enough where something's good enough to catch him. That's why I like your angle, Aaron. You know, look for the horse that's sort of like heading in that direction where he could overcome him. Like, I think these other horses, we've seen their best probably. The thing I don't understand about this race is the Swiss Skydiver angle. I just don't understand I don't know if they're just like, we can't beat Monomoy Girl. We might as well go here and try. I have no idea what you're doing in this race. And it'd be interesting to see if she does win it and I'm totally wrong, but I just feel like I would have rather them taken a break and pointed for the Breeders' Cup, because you never know what's going to happen there. So sorry for the other note. It's just that it just seems like a weird thing.
It's funny, they're scared of Tis the Law, but they're not scared of Authentic after that Derby.
Well put.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were like, we're definitely not running the Preakness now, and then in Tis the Law, like, we're not running. They're like, whoa, hang on a second. We'll go there.
They said we will run if Tis the Law is not running. He came out and said it, McPeak, at one point. It was like ridiculous. I'm like, what is the difference? Like, why would he want to run against Authentic but not Tis the Law?
If Tiz was here, I bet this is like a 7-horse field.
Yeah,
I think this field got 11 because they decided not to send Tiz here.
Yeah,
I think there's still a feeling that he is still the best horse.
And that's a good point. I think a lot of people know. I think it just like Halterman said, and I think we all believe it. It's like, this is the race, right? We have to figure out what we saw in Kentucky was the real deal or not. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are like, shit, screw it, we'll go. That's fine. It's a Triple Crown race, might as well. But like you say, if Tiz Law's in the race, especially imagine if he were to run down Authentic and was running for the Triple Crown here, you would be looking at a very, very short field, considering it is a month out of the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, I think
possible, even if one quick thing, it's possible, even if Authentic wins this race, that Tis the Law might still be a lower odds in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah.
It's possible.
That is a good point. He's training obviously up to the Classic, whereas Authentic is already in the Classic. obviously running here today as well. So he'd be much, he had ran a lot more. Tiz the Law's build has really thrived for most of the year on running those bigger gaps between his races, which makes a lot of sense why they were to do that, especially considering he had lost in Kentucky. I'm
still of the belief that really what hurt Tiz the Law the most, and why I think he could have won that Derby. Really, I think the Travers was really the big error for Tiz the Law. I don't know if it was going there and firing that shot there where he needed it, but I mean, I just feel like that wasn't his best effort in the Derby. And if he showed up with the Travers race, maybe it's a different story.
Yeah.
But what I'm not seeing from Authentic is a reason why he wouldn't reproduce a good effort. Even in efforts where we were like, wow, he almost got beat, he still won it. The only time he got beat was by Honor AP, and that horse, you got to just say, okay, it wasn't his day. It was a fluky thing that day. It's just really hard for me to see Authentic not firing. And so let's say Authentic got a really good track, and that's what helped him. If you're going to throw out other angles, what's to say this track isn't going to help him here? Yeah. Everything seems to be going his way. You know what I mean? It's going to take – I think he loses if something happens to him. He gets bumped. He falls backwards and winds up where he shouldn't be.
He could be in himself,
Yeah.
I still know the horse that, almost jumped over the rail in the first jam at the beginning of this year. He's a head case Authentic, so he's been more professional in his last few starts, but all those horses could always freak out. So, and in the Santa Anita Derby, he broke horribly from the gate. That's what really put him behind and gave him a wide trip. He really broke right to the outside Authentic. If he does something like that here, that could really screw him up, also break him from the 9 holes. So yeah, he could beat himself.
All right, real quickly, they're getting close. They're getting close to the gate. We're going to each of us give your pick and a long shot as you think underneath possible. I'm going to go Authentic and Max Player. Halterman, you go.
Authentic and Pneumatic.
Samich.
Art Collector and Pneumatic.
Ricky.
Okay.
I'm going to go Art Collector and Pneumatic as well.
Right.
Authentic and Pneumatic.
What?
Vinny.
I have Mr. Big News over Authentic.
There you go. And Slimmy, finish it off.
And I'll be like with my best two friends, Ryan and Aaron. We all got Authentic with a long shot being Pneumatic underneath. Boy.
All right, man.
Boys, Ryan, Aaron, all 3 in a row here. We're like, tic-tac-toe, baby.
Finally, the Triple Crown is going to be over. Woo! All right. Slim, finish this off for us, will you?
All right, and they're getting into the gate. Live Your Beast Life is the last one to load. In 145th running of the Preakness Stakes. And they break. Oh, once again, New York traffic walk outwardly right into a bunch of horses like a maniac. That horse,
again,
like Swiss Skydiver, is going to lead. On the inside, we have number 5,000 words showing early speed. And wearing the Spendthrift silk, it is Authentic. Authentic. The 2 Baffert horses will set the pace in 145th Preakness Stakes.
Are they going to go side by side the whole way?
I can't believe that they're going
to. In between Swiss Skydiver and Pneumatic make up the second batch.
24-1.
This is like a workout. They're just going to go side by side the whole way.
I can't believe they're going to go side by side like this.
The 2 Baffert runners look very calm and poised on the front end here. 47.65. An easy pace and Pneumatic sets up shop on the outside.
No,
right there.
That's like, a good looked like 1,000 words through in the. It looks like 1,000 words. Oh no, he's
Authentic
moving.
needs to go. He needs to get away from you.
This Skydiver just cut through both of them.
Johnny's very high up on Authentic.
Pneumatic gets its cozy trip on the outside. Yeah. This Skydiver strikes the lead as they make the turn for home, and Authentic bearing down on her. And third is Pneumatic.
Swiss Skydiver looks really good.
She looks fantastic. I give it to her.
Swiss Skydiver looking to take them as they round for home and in the stretch.
Oh,
wow.
Digging down. Wow. Authentic is bearing down on her, but Swiss Skydiver won't give in.
Let's go, girl.
Authentic.
Wow.
Giving it all with the left-handed whip. And
oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Skydiver is still there, but Authentic is going to no Swiss Skydiver on the inside as
well. Wow. With Robbie Alvarado.
I gotta eat some crow. Congratulations on placing
Robbie.
Swiss Skydiver. That was fantastic.
Robbie,
Philly has won the Preakness.
that is why they sent her.
That's
Wow.
fantastic. Good for them.
That's on. That also keeps that might save Tiz the Lost chances at 3-year-old of the year if he doesn't win the classic.
That was fantastic.
And Jesus' team ran third.
I had a feeling he was going to run third. Jesus' team. I swear to God.
What up,
You said Jesus' team because you.
Wow, fantastic. Good for him.
I bet how he's.
Robbie? That is, I want to
Do
say
I
that's
win the guy?
I think
They're gonna review this. I don't think they're hitting.
No, I don't think they did at all.
I think
that looks pretty straight.
crazy thing. I think that's, if I remember correctly, going into today, that was Robbie Alvarado's only like fourth stakes dirt start of our graded stake dirt start of the year.
You really think he won that race, bro?
No, but like the fact that he was, I know a lot of people discredited her because of that. If she had a different jockey, there's no way she's 12-1 there.
I'm not fading Kenny McPeek ever again in 2020.
How many people are loving this horse?
Swiss Skydiver.
She's gonna be a superstar. People are.
I will say,
authentic, just like the Derby.
I had that horse second.
It looked like he's gonna go right by the whole way and just held him off.
She was the best horse today, and I got to eat some crow, and I'm very happy for her. This was an awesome. I couldn't see it. She couldn't beat. She Dares the Devil ran such a great race, but it just looked like she was spent right in her campaign. So I mean, you couldn't have seen her beating Authentic Cat. It looked like Authentic Cat the race won for most of this race to me. You know, it's set up perfectly. So congratulations to those connections. My goodness, that's wonderful.
God, Authentic ran really well too.
Yeah,
He did.
Those two were a mile in front.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah.
And Aaron just barely wins the fantasy league right there over Jesus's
do I get
team.
any credit for having her second on the guide?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Our collector did not do well for you, but you did do.
He took out two horses. He kind of took out Authentic again. This fucking New York Traffic. He really took out Max Player, New York Traffic, but he might have affected Authentic a little bit. But this New York Traffic, piece of shit, that horse.
Unreal.
Well, so she's champion 3-year-old filly now. That seems a hard resume to beat now.
I can't wait.
Crown race, it's automatic.
Did anybody hear the Larry Collins call? I bet that was fantastic.
I did not.
The Saratoga Slim call was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I heard the Slim call.
That was really on point, actually.
We should get people to tune in just to hear Slim do race calls.
All right, I gotta go.
I'm getting pretty good at it. I've only done it like 3 times.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Before I head off,
I can't
before I
call the
head
whole
off real quick, I just want Slim, great race call, better than Coleman. And this is just a great way to wrap up, I guess, a late summer. Again, like we've talked about this before, like this is a crazy day that we're all going to remember because of the pandemic. So thank you guys for having me on, and hopefully there's one more race, I think, at Keeneland with Analyze It. Jared and Aaron, I know those are your picks, so good luck, everyone, the rest of the afternoon.
See you, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Later.
Peace out, Ricky. Good seeing you, bro.
So just as a recap, because it's been a long ass year, you have your 3 legs have been Tiz the Law, Authentic, and Swiss Skydiver.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's turn the page.
I should have taken that. I should have taken that trade for Swiss in the league forever ago.
I mean, yeah, Dan moved way up the board on that one, didn't he?
The $1 trifecta pays $1,205. This $1 super, $5,053 with our collector in 4th. Jesus's team juiced up those exotics.
Look at the pick 5.
Wow.
$1,000 for 50 cents on the pick 5.
That's crazy.
And there wasn't a like completely ungettable horse in there.
No,
I mean, I think
And try was 602.
I think you just needed to go. You just needed to be able to either pick the right one where you went short, or just have the money to go.
You guys are high off your ass saying that now. Are you
Well, no,
kidding?
no. I'm saying the largest price in the entire sequence was $26. There
Oh,
wasn't.
you're talking about. Never mind. I thought you were talking about the superfecta.
Oh,
No.
Sorry.
no.
No, that was impossible.
They have Jesus.
Yeah,
It was the worst horse in the field.
I would have never used that three.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
I'm saying the pick 5 paid 64 grand, and it. Yeah, Miranda wins.
Yeah. Hey, Miranda had Swiss second too, I think. So good
That was
call.
awesome.
Yeah. Great call.
Okay, so here's a good question. What do you do with? Okay, so yeah, Ryan. I mean, we sit here and talked about like what the hell are they doing? You know, like why? Now all of a sudden the Classic is that like in play here? This is a win and you're in for the Classic. I mean, should they run her in the Classic?
I think they should because like they run her everywhere, so they might as well do it.
It might be easier if Monomoy Girl goes to Distaff. It really might be easier to win the Classic than at Distaff.
I mean, she's already won a mile and a quarter this year, so you know that obviously distance wise.
Her best race before this was the Alabama, so
Are they still scared of Tiz the Law is the question.
Yeah, I say, are they finally going to be ready for Tiz? You know, you got to give credit to McPeak. He, from the start, was like, we're going to run in the Preakness. She got beat in the Oaks for whatever reason, whether that horse just freaked or whatever. But
hold on, Jared. How did she beat Art Collector so badly? It's amazing what he did with this. I mean, right? That's the thing. It's like it was hard to see her win this race when you're like Art Collector. She wasn't even near. Then she loses to She Dares the Devil, which I really don't hold all the way against her. But this was a phenomenal training job because Authentic ran like Tiz the Law, a race that would have won a lot of Preaknesses. Like Tiz would have won a lot of Derbies. I think he really ran, got it his way. He just looked really good to me, and it set up where it's like this was like the race of her life or something. It was fantastic.
She sat off the pace today. I think that was the key. When she lost to Art Collector the first time, they just tried to go gate the wire in the bluegrass.
Right.
And then the on Oaks Day there, she broke from the inside, and the inside was not great that day. So she was forced to go. She had to swing wide late, and speed on that Kentucky track was holding. So I mean that, like you said, I'm not going to hold that second place effort there against her to She Dares the Devil, but that was that was an excellent ride, and she was very game.
So, She Dares the Devil, for those that don't know, runs tomorrow at Keeneland. So that does some pretty good form flattering for that filly.
yeah, she'll be a 1-5 after that one.
Yeah, no shit. This is just.
You know what I'd like to know is what the Tiz the Law people think after that performance. Are they like, why didn't we run here? A good thing we didn't run. I wonder if that would have changed their mind.
I'm reading my article. They still pissed off didn't win the Derby.
Yeah. Was there out of all you guys in here and those that are tuning in still watching? Didn't it seem like so she passes Authentic? You say, okay, now she's battling. Now he's battling back. Now he's going to go right back by her. See the whole stretch. It's just like it kind of felt a little bit. It's even closer, frankly, than it was in the Derby with Authentic and Tiz the Law, where you just kept thinking Tiz the Law is going to get by. Tiz the Law is going to get by. Tiz the Law is going to get by, and he never did. Whereas today it felt like, it's just a matter of time. Authentic's going to go right by her. I mean, he's right there, and for a 3-year-old filly to battle back and put him away when he tried several times to get by her, that in itself was impressive.
Reminded me of the 2007 Belmont Stakes when Curlin just couldn't get by Rags to Riches, and it was the whole stretch, and they just battled, and he never could get by. And really, guys, as you guys have talked, I've sit here and thought about it. As good as Johnny V did in the Derby, he absolutely lost this race for Authentic. 100, 1,000, 1,000,000%. Johnny V lost the race. They went slow up front. He's got 1,000 words setting a blocker for all the horses on the inside. We've talked about it, all day, seemingly, these races. How are you not 3 in front when you see maybe you sit for the first half, and then how do you not make a move and get 3 in front? You know who did make a move and got ahead? Swiss Skydiver. Watch the replay. Swiss Skydiver makes that move. She gets the jump, and all of a sudden, Authentic is in a position that's something he's never done before.
Yeah, you're right. I remember calling. I said, and Swiss Skydiver strikes the lead. She really took command of the race, and they couldn't track her down. Because you're right, Authentic doesn't stalk. He has to have it his own way.
You're right.
No reason why he wouldn't have.
And we saw it. We saw it in the San Antonio Derby. That when Authentic gets, he just doesn't battle. When he needs to get to the lead and go, and that's how he wins races. But when he gets in a battle, he's just proven to where he just can't quite overcome that. Whether it be a mental thing or whatever. But
they made a big deal in the Derby about we got it. You left-handed. You got to hit him left-handed. He was in so tight
like 12 times in the stretch.
They were trying, but he was in so tight. I don't think he ever could really get into him like he did in the Derby either. I think
Alvarado, good job.
Yeah, for as much crap as people gave those connections all week for giving him the mount.
Yeah,
like he rode phenomenally.
Yeah.
So if 1,000 Words is not in this race, is Authentic win?
I sure think he might, because then I think he just clears and gets to the rail and kicks on.
That was part of the reason that I didn't put Authentic on top here, and I took a shot. I took the wrong shot, but I didn't think it made any sense that you were going to put another speed. Baffert was going to send a second speed horse in with Authentic, who has shown that he's a need the lead type so far.
Yeah, I don't really think that was the reason. I think he was just messing around with him. Like, they weren't going fast. He wasn't really pressured. It's just like clear. Like, it's Johnny V. Get him out of the way.
Right.
Like, this guy's running interference. He's trying to give you the justified trip,
I was very surprised to see the two Baffords setting the pace early.
Same here.
I don't think it should have been the two Baffords. It should have been one Baffert and then the other Baffert 3 behind. Look at the fractions. I mean,
that's what it should have been, and then it wasn't though. That was weird. It was like neither of them really knew what the other was supposed to do. It was like one of them was it was like one of them was supposed to go to the lead and the other was supposed to sit off, and they just like looked at each other like, "Oh, I thought you were doing the other."
Exactly right. You said it perfectly. They both were looking at each other like, well, what are we doing? Guess we're just going to dick around and let every other horse in the race.
Oh, because they get paid for second place. Oh, that's great. I'm going to have to like that.
I wonder if when he saw Swiss Skydiver was the horse that came up, to your point, Aaron, like, I wonder if they overconfidently rode. Like, we've got this. I mean, you're right. I do think there's a lot to be said about Johnny V. Deservedly so, wonderful ride in the Derby. You do have to question it, because when you lose by this much and you're in that front, you have to think, well, where could I have made up the ground, or what could I have done?
You'll never be able to convince me if Authentic uses the speed and gets 2 or 3 lengths ahead on that turn that horse loses the race. That's not reality. The horse would not have lost.
Yep.
The horse got into a tussle. Johnny V got outrode by a guy who by many people in this industry that don't follow it day to day thought he was dead. I mean, my dad texted me. He goes, "Robbie Alvarado, are you?"
I didn't know he was still riding.
I did. I looked it up the other day because people were livid that he had the mount. He's only going into this year. He's only had I think this was his it's either his 4th or 5th graded stakes start on the dirt this year. In his other one, he had
riding.
Yeah, he only has had I think in the last 2 years he's only ridden 50 graded stakes on the dirt. And most of them are not good.
So I don't.
Yeah, most of them are not. I want to say his last win before this was Mr. Freeze last year in the ACAC. Was his last graded stakes win on the dirt.
I won money on that race. I swear to God, I had Mr. Freeze that day.
We will get back to this. We definitely a lot to digest with this Preakness, but we are 1 minute to post on the Shadwell Turf Mile, so let's flip back over to that at Keeneland.
That's a good race.
Sitting there at 5-2, so we didn't get a prize. Halsman,
your boy Casacreed's in this race, boy.
The FanDuel Mile here, when you're in for the Breeders' Cup.
I just don't get how you could do something for a living and screw it up so often, like these guys do. I don't get it. Like
morning line makers?
No, jockeys. It's like, how do you not?
We should have Johnny V on next week. Talk about it.
Right.
I just can't understand how Analyzer could be the favorite in this race. He was the favorite in 2018, and he blew.
Yeah, give me Raging Bull here.
3-year-old one now.
For Raging Bull.
Raging Bull at 3-1 here is not.
How crazy was Analyzer the favorite? That's crazy, right? This is coming from the biggest Chad Brown homer there is.
You can get 11-1 on Without Parole right now.
That horse is like him and Rock Emperor need to just have a match race so one of them can get a win.
I bet that horse at 3-1 and 6-1 the last 2 races. I got to bet at 11-1 right?
You have to. That's a
Just-
rule.
All right. I need to make a bet on this race. What should I punch in?
I mean, at this point, I can't even. I don't even know.
6 over 1.
You're so done. There's been so much racing in the last 2 hours.
Like what?
I can't even concentrate.
I like analyze it, but not. I mean, 5-2 kind of sucks to.
6 over 1, 8, 9.
1, 8, 9 parlor.
I like Parlor.
How could you win a Kentucky Derby setting those kind of fractions and
Well-
not get to the lead today?
Well, real quick. So they went under 12s for the whole race. So they were on a pace to go sub 2 minutes for what the Derby would have been, which would have been incredible. So and they also were only less than a second off the track record. Like that was a very, very fast race. So
Lord,
they went 24, 47. They did the mile in 134. They were sub 12s from the 24 second, from the first opening quarter down to the 6 furlongs. I think when we look back on these fractions, they went really fast. Like after that first furlong, which was slow, they went really fast.
So, the only thing better to cap off 2020 is if freaking Swiss Skydiver would have beat Secretariat's record.
No, 0.28 seconds off. That's
Well,
crazy.
that right there tells me that forget it. Like that's don't even worry about the times. Like that's crazy to think that she almost beat Secretariat. I'm sorry, this horse just lost the Kentucky Oaks. Let's not crown her as some kind of champion. Now she ran fantastic. Let's get real for a second, guys.
Ultimate is salty right now.
Well, I just hate when a horse when you have a horse and they don't get the ride. It's ridiculous. It's just freaking.
It was kind of like with Manny in the Derby. I mean, it was like late. That was probably an overconfident ride by Johnny.
Yeah,
he thought he had it. Manny thought he had the Derby.
Yeah.
This is the perfect segue into A1 because Halterman hates this horse so badly. Let's see if this horse can piss off Halterman even further as they load into the gate. If this horse hangs, we might just have to shut off the feed, guys.
Well, Gaffleone's on. He's already screwed up one Chad Brown horse today, so why not?
The
Let's
combination
try to strangle a speed horse, Gaffleone.
After the Preakness is just epic.
I don't know. I just hate when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, it's
all right. And
good news.
running Shadwell. Why does he breeze futurity on the race? Oh my god.
It's throwing him off, folks. It's throwing him off. He can't do it now.
All right. Casa Creed is in the lead. Is this true? Is Casa Creed is in the lead here?
why are there two? Why are they running again with the same saddle cloths? Have they been doing this all day at Keeneland? I haven't been noticing.
Great
Or
one
just the last two?
Great
Well,
one races.
That's up shop.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
And without parole is down on the rail.
There's not even
His parlor sets up good shop.
No, the box came up for
Analyze
the order. Oh, the box came up again. No,
No time.
Yes.
Man, you really got to work it out for you here.
And we
Slim.
have Ivar.
Why am I into this?
Zero, and in the back of the pack is Raging Bull to make a quick
What is a fucking joke sometimes. It's a great
and
one.
we turn to go home, and Casa Creed is in lead, but he's under pressure. Casa Creed trying to get away from them.
Oh, come on, Parlor.
Raging Bull dead last.
Come on with this 9.
Parlor,
Come on with this 9.
Raging Bull.
No, somebody's flying.
Somebody's coming strong. It looks like
Ivar. Yeah.
Ivar. Raging Bull is late on the Raging Bull is late on the scene.
And without parole,
Without parole.
Ivar, the 14-1 shot wins.
Oh
Grade
boy,
one.
Good
boy.
Maker Rispoli with the win.
Ivar, but unfortunately, I miss every other race.
I just I don't understand these horses like Raging Bull.
Snapper Sinclair beat Ivar last time, so
Who did?
Snapper Sinclair beat Ivar last time.
Yeah, but that was a Kentucky Downs. This is another Kentucky Downs horse that takes a huge step forward, and and Snapper Sinclair really likes Kentucky Downs.
At this point, Snapper's about the only thing that's going to make me feel good for the rest of the night. Just saying.
All right, I'm getting out of here. That's the last grade 1 of the day.
That
Love
is
you guys.
the last.
Doing good. Stay safe out there.
All right, later, Slim.
All right, later.
Oh, man.
Take care, buddy. Okay, so Halterman is just really in a good mood. So let's take it back to it's been a rough outing for sure. It's one of those days. I mean, we know how tough Keeneland can get. We know how tough, obviously, Pimlico can get. And by the way, it all happened on the same like 2 hours. So, do you guys want to talk more about the Preakness, or are you? I want to get some quotes. I haven't got any quotes yet from that race, but I really want to see what they said.
I can give you the final fantasy league standings if you guys want to do that.
Yeah, but I think that's what people are here for. We should.
Yeah, right. I didn't finish last.
No.
Last after drafting an unnamed horse. I'm okay.
So Real Dynasty was 8th. Yes.
Yes.
Ryan and John were 5th. Jared, you were 7th. I win, and Magic Mike is 2nd. So
what was the final 1, 2? Like how close were you guys after Jesus' team?
I ended up with 500, and they ended up with 412. So Authentic getting 2nd extended the lead a little bit. But I get big news like Dan, he got 4th this year, guys.
Wow. Really
good improvement for Dan. So congratulations to him.
That claim turned out to be quite beneficial to him.
Yes.
I'm still a bit, I don't think he would have won, but I'm still a bit salty that Happy Saver won the whatever race that was as a win and you're into the Preakness, and then they decided to send him to the Gold Cup.
Just what an odd move, right? That was
right. Like it was like I feel like that was like lost on that day that like they said that he was going to the Gold Cup instead. It was just such an odd move.
So odd. I thought, yeah, he could probably be okay in the Preakness after he won that. I mean, and then going to the Gold Cup. I was really surprised. Yeah. Oh man. But anyway, that's that. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. But I don't know how Authentic is not in front of Swiss Skydiver. Even if you want to say, well, don't go to the front, at least get separation on the turn where you're in front.
The beginning of that race was very odd that the two Bafferts both went out. Like, that did not seem like it was supposed to be I can't imagine Bob told both of them go right to the front and just sit next to each other. I can't imagine those were the instructions.
The entire early part of that race makes no sense. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. I think they went too slow for Authentic or what Authentic wanted to do, and I think the reason they did was because they didn't want to both kill each other. But it just if you set up the race before of how you think it's going to actually play out, I don't think any of us thought 1,000 Words was going to be on the lead. First off, I mean, 1,000 Words had come from off the pace, and when it had been 1,000 Words had been on the lead, 1,000 Words the pace had been very slow. Whereas Authentic went out in 22 and 46 and change last time and was able to keep going and use that speed as a weapon. And this time, we're a compacted field around that first turn, going ridiculously slow tractions for the end time. And it's a very odd way for that pace to play out, and allowed other horses to be in the race and have a chance to run them down at the end.
With as fast as that race ended up being coming out, I wonder if that opening quarter was right.
Now that's possible.
I wonder if that opening quarter was a little bit faster, and because 1,000 Words threw in a towel there pretty quickly. Like he was done before. He was done around the 3/4 mark. Yeah. So I wonder if that opening quarter was a little quicker than what the time showed.
Let's see if they changed the opening quarter in the opening half or not.
If you go back and watch this at the first, I thought it was going to set up perfect, because right when they're getting ready to go in that first turn, 1,000 Words is on the inside, and he's blocking Art Collector and Swiss Skydiver. And Authentic's right on the outside. I'm like, well, this is going to work great. He's going to just push ahead a little bit. 1,000 Words is going to be the blocker, and this is going to be a perfect trip. And instead, it's just like, oh, let's dick around together right here by each other and keep every other horse in the race. And then, let's let Swiss Skydiver get ahead.
Not just that, she split the two Bafferts. I mean, granted, 1,000 Words was done.
Yeah,
she was able to go right. She not only did she go by him, Authentic, she got the inside run on him.
And that honestly, I'm not saying he would have won, but that probably cost Art Collector was that move, because Art Collector then was stuck behind 1,000 Words for another second or two, and by the time he got out, the race was over.
I'm gonna pull this up.
That was a pretty surprising. 1,000 Words really stopped.
He just stopped.
But he kept running. I mean, I'm watching the replay here, and he's He may have finished. I think that's 1,000 words. What number was he?
5.
Let me go back. Where he finished.
What? Where do you see? Where do you have the replay, Jared? I want to. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Oh,
Never
he
mind.
finished last.
5 did or 11?
1,000 words. No, he was battling there at the back of the pack. They were how many links? 8, 10 links
Yeah.
ahead of the rest of them.
Now that makes Equibase's numbers make more sense.
What does Equibase have?
Right
20,
there.
23, yeah, 23, 46. Yeah. See, that makes more sense. And that makes sense why 1,000 words threw in the towel so quickly, because he does not want to go that fast early.
Right.
So that makes much more sense.
That's a 1.5 difference from what we saw on the feed, by the way, because I'm watching it now and it was 24 and 5 is what.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it took a champion to beat him. Like, she's clearly, to me, wrapped up that championship. I mean, something would have to be pretty insane to do it. It takes a lot to beat Baffert. We know from the Derby winner losing a Preakness. I mean, it's very just surprising that it was her because, again, in her past, she proved she couldn't beat Art Collector. It's for her to do this. It's either the hell of a training job, a bad ride. I mean, it's certainly everything went in her favor, right? But she certainly, I don't want to take anything away from her because not many fillies win the Preakness. It just doesn't happen, you know?
No.
Yeah, the first since 2009 with Rachel. So
I just,
you know what? It also said, you know, like Authentic beat the shit out of the rest of them. You know, Baffert brought his horse. The horse ran huge, and if she's on in the race, it beats the hell out of that field. And it just happens to be that she ran massive. No, this brings up a very interesting Breeders' Cup now because you've got Authentic, you've got Tiz the Law, you've got Swiss Skydiver now, all trying to get those awards. You know, like that. You know, you can still argue that Swiss Skydiver is the best 3-year-old. Period.
I mean, if Swiss wins, if Swiss wins the Classic, I mean, she could sweep a number of awards probably. That would be a big if she won the Classic. But
you're right. I mean, totally right.
It's very frustrating.
We'd be there, but we are.
It's very frustrating because you see this performance and you're going, okay, then explain to me how you couldn't beat She Dares the Devil with her performance in this thing. Because even though that was a really fast time, so was this what you just did. You see the Art Collector thing, it doesn't make sense. It's just nothing suggested. I mean, Tiz the Law was like, no, we'll take a break here. I mean, everybody, it's a very strange performance considering it's just like she's had such a hard campaign. You know, it's like, how could her campaign not take this out of her, but Authentics possibly did with the Derby? Or maybe it didn't. It's so weird. But let's say you're an Authentic person. You know, what do you do going forward? Do you just go, okay, he got beat today. Do you still bet him? I mean, he didn't run horrific. He almost won the Preakness.
Oh, I think both these horses ran fantastic. I mean, that's the other part of it that I'm not giving near enough credit to the winner. I mean, my God, she ran fantastic. And to dig down and win is really incredible. She deserves a ton of credit. But yeah, I mean, these two horses, it's kind of like the Derby. They were way, way the best, like way better than anybody else. So, yeah, I mean, I think both of them, I wouldn't take anything away from either one of them.
No, the Baffert's going to be loaded going into the Classic. He's got, he's going to have Authentic, Improbable, Maximum Security. Trying to think if he has anybody else. I mean, just those three there. I mean, those three might be your top 3 betting choices, and then probably Tiz will be somewhere around them.
Yeah, I mean, that had to have taken a ton out of Authentic. So, I mean, that's another thing you got to think, you know, how much help is that going to favor Tiz the Law, who bypassed the race. And I mean, those two horses right there, they threw it down. For a 3-year-old colt, I think it's going to come down to which one of them finishes better in the Classic.
Do you know what's hilarious? When we were heading into the Kentucky Derby, everyone was like, Tiz the Law looks like he's got this wrapped up and a filly might beat him in the Preakness. That's the storyline. And that fell apart. And then somehow or other, he drops out and a filly won the Preakness. That wasn't even the main filly people thought. They thought it was Gamine. You know, it's quite a year. And Swiss Skydiver, what's so interesting about her is she was like an afterthought. They were going to send her over to Royal Ascot. They weren't even planning on staying here. This virus happened. She's here. I mean, I don't know if they were going to bring her back, but it's a pretty incredible story. Like, honestly, it's just, this makes sense for 2020. And kudos to them. You got to give kudos for that horse doing what she did. And it'll be interesting to see in the Classic where the money goes now. I mean, honestly, everyone has a reason not to necessarily get behind them now, or to get behind them based on just what your preference is. This is probably the most fascinating Breeders' Cup Classic in a long time, because that is your horse of the year. Whoever wins is going to determine so many divisions.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah, right. This year's been crazy.
Yeah, this one almost made me more mad, and it really should. There's no reason why it should, but
Well, both these horses ran very well, but I mean, you have to give them both credit. I mean, we guess have to use this as another data point. I mean, that's really the only way that you can take this. Now you know that Swiss Skydiver has this in her. Authentic validated the Derby. Moving forward, you got to figure out, do they have this in the tank against Olders in the month? And I'm probably going to say no. I'd rather take Tizzle, who's going to be more rested, or take Tom Zatat, who's coming in from New York, who we haven't necessarily seen the best of in the last couple of months. But to Ryan's point, I mean, you're going to get 4-1 on whoever you want in that race now. I mean, you're going to get a price on whoever you end up on.
Yeah, it's and I'm kind of torn, because as much as you are frustrated in a sense, like, we do this for a living, we handicap, and we weren't really thinking that Swiss Skydiver was going to win the Preakness. But at the same time, as a fan, that was exhilarating. That was awesome. I love good races, and to see two horses throw it down the stretch, a filly and the Derby winner. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that when it comes to a race that at some point in the year was going to be just completely an afterthought race, because it's like, well, who cares? The Preakness is going to be in October. Well, that was a really memorable race. So I'm kind of torn. It's frustrating, but like, it'd be one thing too if, like, she wins, Authentic doesn't run well, none of them run well, and you're like, well, shit, what was that? But they threw it down. He ran huge. She just ran better.
I mean, you said it best. As a fan watching that was very thrilling. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm with you on that part of it for sure.
Rich, I just hit the all button. I was right.
You were. And the problem is that you had to hit the all button to get to her. Who kind of, I mean, I guess she was like mid-price, but still, that's why, like, when I thought you guys were talking about the superfecta and how you could have hit it, it's like, how? Because I had her like 7th or 8th. Yeah. Like, I just couldn't.
I had her 5th.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's hard to have your 5th choice on top. And
I almost put her 4th in the guide, and I used Slim's logic of, well, Max Player is usually good for 4th. Like, I'll throw him 4th. That was
the art.
Go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, because I did bag before this, going, why are they running here? Because again, she lost to Art Collector and all this. And I did say, and I could be proven wrong, and gave her the props after. Do you really think her connections expected this win? It's so weird, because to the outsider, it seemed so, like, when they were watching that, do you think we're like, we've got this? Or were they like, oh my gosh, we could actually win this? Like, did they even expect this kind of do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like it's almost like they've just been taking shots and running her everywhere they possibly can. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if you know what I'm saying?
I would like to hear McPeak's interview on why they entered her here, because when they entered her and they named Robbie as the jockey with all the other jockeys there, it kind of like, that was very concerning. And I know a lot of people felt like when Robbie was named the jockey, it seemed like it was an ownership decision to run her here and not McPeak's decision. Mm-hmm. But apparently not. I mean, she ran huge. I mean, I'm assuming they were confident that she would run well either way, but I probably, when she turned for home with the lead, I'm sure they were a bit surprised.
Her 2020, she has ran at Tampa, Fairgrounds, Gulfstream, Oaklawn, Santa Anita, Keeneland, Saratoga, Churchill's, and now Pimlico. She has ran a different track every single start of her 2020. And
there's not a bad start in there.
Right.
You know what? This might be the most start. This might be the most incredible campaign for a 3-year-old filly since Rachel. And I'm not Rachel, of course, stepped up facing older and all this stuff, but honestly, she's danced every single dance you can imagine for her category. I haven't seen one like this. Have you, Aaron? You're shaking your head. Like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very Rachel-like campaign. Like I said, you'll never match that, but at the same time, she damn sure tried her best. I mean, this was her second time facing the boys, and she got beat, ran a really good race in the Bluegrass and got beat to Art Collector. And I think that may be my biggest surprise is I'll play Art Collector because that'll take care of Swiss Skydiver, because how is she going to, after the crazy campaign she's had after facing him, and then he's only raced once and it was a dominating win. It's like, how's she going to turn the tables on him? Well, that wasn't even a race. Like, he's nowhere to be found. So that's frustrating too. But yeah, I mean, this was an unbelievable campaign. It's not through yet. Got one more. And guess what? Rachel didn't go to the Breeders' Cup. So maybe she goes and wins the Breeders' Cup race.
Aaron, where would you go if you were her? Like, I want your opinion on if you campaigned her right now. Because you're into the Classic, but you're probably also into the distaff, right? So what would you do?
I mean, I guess I would go to the Classic. It's hard to win a Breeders' Cup winning in for the Classic and not go. If I look at it from me being the owner, that's what I would want. I would want to run in the biggest race if I could, And you just beat Authentic, who beat Tis the Law. So, I mean, you could sit there and say, well, if we run our best race, we might be the best 3-year-old in the country.
Yeah, I mean, and you're sitting there thinking, what is the distaff, $2 million or $3 million race?
I think it's 2,
and the Classic 6.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there thinking, you may not be the best. Obviously, you got to go up against Monomoist. You might be running for second in the distaff, or you could run for second in the Classic.
Yeah.
And that would be better than running second in the distaff. So if I'm them, I'm definitely pointing to the Classic.
Already has a win at a 1.25 miles too in the Alabama. So I mean,
yeah. That's her campaign has been crazy.
It's crazy.
That's nutty. You keep waiting for the wheels to fall off, so to speak, and her kind of regress, and she just hasn't,
She just keeps going.
She just keeps going for a horse that definitely slow, Rachel in the Rachel race. Funny, she ran in that, finished third that day, beating Finite and Brigidium, and since then has just been lights out. Just been really good.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it's pretty
2020, baby. 2020, baby.
Yeah, it keeps.
I hope they go to the Classic with her, and they don't go to the distaff.
Yeah. Well, basically all year, what race I want them to go into, they never do. So they'll probably go to the distaff now that I want them in the Classic.
Halterman, you and I talked about on Blinkers Off about. We both said. Neither one of us had Swiss in the top 4, but at the same time, we were both like, wouldn't you be surprised if she just ran really bad? Like, we both thought she's going to run well. Obviously not to this level.
No.
But she was in that tough category, like we talked about earlier, where she was right on that cusp with the 4, because you did still feel like she's quality enough and she's consistent enough to run a good race. It's just, like you said, Art Collector, immediately would get the notch above her because why not? And then if you got to throw in Authentic, and then you got 1,000 Words, and just before you know it, you end up putting her in the 4th or 5th spot. So for her to run like she did today, especially after running the way she did in the Oaks, Kentucky Oaks, it's pretty remarkable.
It really is. She deserves a ton of credit. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think. She might go favorite in the distaff now off of this. A filly beating the boys goes a long ways, and Monomoy Girl, we just haven't seen a ton of her. So she might even go favorite in the distaff.
That would be sign me up to play Monomoy Girl. She's going to be second choice.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I'd be very surprised if she took that much money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Off this, she might, but we may not get to see it. But the thing about her, she's the polar opposite of Monomoy Girl, right? Like this horse runs every 2 weeks. Monomoy Girl runs every 3 months. So
I wonder if they're going to be allowed if they can cross enter in both.
Yeah,
and pick like the day or two before where they want to run.
I think they're definitely allowed for sure.
Are you allowed if the race is? I don't know. Is the race the same day this year? I don't know what the new schedule. I don't know what the new schedule is.
Yeah, that's good point.
And I don't know if you're allowed to cross enter on the same day.
I don't either. I'm not sure.
I'm
You know what? If they could, they'd probably run her on the Friday card if it was the old way, like in the distaff, and then on the next day they'd run her in the classic, like the way they do this horse.
I mean,
I
that'd
mean,
be
even
nuts.
with it's the first and the 12th race, they might do it.
They might.
She wins
All right,
both.
guys, I got to jump off here. It's been real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Real but not fun, right?
you know, we saw good racing. We saw a bunch of Breeders' Cup. You know, Uni winning. That saw some Breeders' Cup implications. Obviously, a lot to go to digest still with this Preakness and what that means for the Breeders' Cup. So maybe not the results we were expecting, but nonetheless, it gives us a lot to go on. Because now we have one more weekend left next weekend, and the focus is completely on the Breeders' Cup preparation. So a lot to. Our jobs are going to be tough trying to figure out the Classic. I know that much, assuming she runs in the Classic as well. But all right, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been about 2 hours and a half.
Yep.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to you guys for being here. Tune in for the Magic Mike to next week, and then of course us. And I'm sure we'll have a little bit to talk about this race. So
maybe a minute or two.
Good Magic thoughts. All right, guys. Thanks.